Last we left our heroes, you'd made your way to Castirian, the city of the dead. Here you found the once large elven community now lying in ruins and dust. Making your way into this city, you elected to follow the dried riverbed down into this large horseshoe bay to the west of the city center, and to check out the docks. In the middle of this bay, however, you became intrigued by this island that stood jutting up oddly from the dry bay with no water surrounding it. Several structures still stood in various states of despair atop it, but it intrigued you nonetheless, and you took to the sky and made your way there, specifically near this temple structure. Weathered walls and debris strewn about both the exterior and interior led you to believe it long abandoned, but upon closer inspection, it did indeed receive some visitation, and some relatively recently. You deduced as well its significance as a temple to the Raven Queen, the goddess of night and of death. And as you poked around within, a voice called out from outside. Feminine, elven, but strong. A brief encounter that luckily did not fall into a fight occurred with the sect of Valar monks. This half-elf, seemingly in charge, invited you in for tea, and seeing you were trustworthy for the time, divulged some information about your surroundings, but ultimately came to offer you a job. The Valar monks here serve to protect the living from the dead who rise and threaten the city, but unfortunately their leader, Quinn Van Morn, had been taken captive, but not by the undead. A group of pirates seemed to haunt the eastern shores, led by one enigmatic pirate captain known to you as Gambino. Captain of the Iron Dreadnought, sworn enemy of one Hondo the Blue, and supposed lover of Sira the Witch Queen. Celine, the monk, requested you bring home her captive brother, and with him safe, they would provide any aid and information the party requested. With that, the sun began to set, and Celine ushered you within the city. Near this fallen bridge to the island, you holed up within an abandoned shop. Spending the last remaining minutes of daylight fortifying the walls and gaps in the windows, you settled in to rest and to scry upon your quarry. Beneath the cover of cloaks, through the crystal ball, Valentine scried on Sira. Within the vision, you witnessed the Witch Queen casually cutting into a half-elven male tied to a broken ship mast, but not on water. They seemed to be within a once beautiful chateau overlooking the coast. What's more, Gambino seemed to be with her, as did several pirates drinking and carousing, a small militia of armored automatons wielding explosive firepower, and as you watched the group partying, they battled waves of undead who swarmed into their fortifications, Sira herself diving into the fray as well as the vision ended. Luckily, for you, their group seemed to draw much of the undead attention within the city, and you appeared to be fairly well insulated here, save a couple of stragglers who happened to catch your scent, but they didn't appear to be a threat. As night settled in and sleep found the majority of you, Valentine and Lavender set in for watch. The night grew cold, and with every creak of wood and shriek of wind, your hearts leapt, but not near as much as when you heard this horrid wail coming from the bay. Val spied a lone ghostly figure floating over the water, and in that instant they locked eyes, and she flew in through the wall and unleashed a horrid wail upon you all. This ear-piercing shriek rattled off your shelter, so frightening and horrid, it stopped the hearts of several of your members. Scrambling to consciousness, and from the brink of death, you fought back the few zombies stirred into action by her wail, but one member of the Wildcards did not get back up from the fray. You all hurried to rebuild your fortifications, your eyes constantly falling back to the slumped, dead form of Lavender. Nearly dragged away in the night by the Banshee before you cut her down, but now lying dead on the steps of this shop. You notice, too, as the minutes begin to grow long, as silence begins to fall outside, her form, Lavender's, shifts ever so slightly. The brightness of her hair fades to a dull white. The smooth features of her face shift, losing their softness and growing harder edges along the cheekbones and along the nose. Her still slightly open eyes go completely white. She's still recognizable as Lavender, that you've come to know and love, but seemingly you see her true form revealed in death. And this is where we begin tonight. Almost. Lavender. The echo of that horrid wail, the screech that stopped your heart, begins to fade as the darkness that immediately clouded your vision grows. You see this empty, vacuous void seem to spread out around you as you are held, not necessarily tethered or restrained, but also not moving or seemingly able to. Like the will to move or act has left you. You drift in emptiness. Then suddenly a blinding light of multicolored hue erupts around you, a roiling soup of impermanent matter and energy and color and sensation. It's hot and cold and dry and wet all at once. Stones melt into water that freezes into metal that turns to diamond that burns up into smoke that becomes snow. All around you, the world is a roiling mess of chaotic eruptions and clouds of chaos-birthed entities. Amidst the overwhelming chaos, you see familiar fragments of ordinary landscapes. A small forest meadow that floats along the current of chaos in a perfectly spherical planetoid of trees. A burbling stream that flows on its own. Fish of vibrant blue leap out and fall back, swimming along its winding path through the sky. The whole plain before you is alive and wild, but still you feel nothing, just cold and empty. At your side, however, as you look out into the wonder before you, a figure in black drifts around you like a shadow, a familiar figure in death, though the face shrouded beneath a thick hood. This figure floats beside you. I was unsure where your soul was destined when last we met. However, I found something here that would suit you in your eternal rest. Come. There's someone here who's waited a long time to see you. And you feel that grip kind of loosen. You feel light, airy, able to move. And this shadowy figure begins to fly forward. What do you do?
I fly forward with her.
Oh.
I feel, but I have no choice.
So what are the rest of you guys doing? Back in the...
Kyle!
Inside the remains of the battleground in this shop. Hondo and Gord, you guys are on the exterior, having cut down the zombies. The four are actually only two. Valentine happened to pull the other two away with a still kind of ringing shriek of a female voice that lasts and then begins to fade, but the zombies don't seem to return, having caught that illusion. What do you guys do?
We gotta get her upstairs. The quicker I can do this, I think the better chance we have. I gotta try and bring her back quickly.
Let me carry her.
Okay. Hondo, do you wanna... This is gonna take a while for me to prep this spell. I feel like we all should be there when it kicks in like an hour, but do the rest of you want to make sure this place is safe? Hondo, you kicked down that door pretty hard.
Yeah, I can try looking around.
If Brawley and I go upstairs, I'll start casting the Ritual of Raise Dead. Takes an hour.
It's an hour-long cast. You have the diamonds. You've acquired a fair amount over your travels, most recently from the Dragon Horde. So material component, no issue. You just lay Lavender out kind of in the middle of the loft upstairs between you and Allie.
Mm-hmm. Where that room we used to be in.
Mm-hmm.
DM, the Banshee's dead, right?
Mm-hmm. Banshee has been totally slain. You killed the other two zombies, and then there were two zombies who have not been killed, but they were seemingly distracted, and in the next following couple of minutes, you don't see or hear them coming back your way. For the time being, although all of you, but specifically Hondo, Mary, and Gord, you guys can all hear a continuous kind of sound of explosions and battle far off in the distance. It's very faint, almost like hearing fireworks. Not that you know what that is in game terms, but you guys do. Off very far in the distance to the east. But yeah, you feel, you hear nothing nearby.
I'll keep an eye on I hear something faint over there. I'll keep an eye on it. I'm not going to go there because it's none of my business and I don't care. But if it comes here, I'll be ready. Valentine, you might want to consider resurrecting that Banshee too. You know, they might know some things.
Okay, yeah, I'll keep that in mind.
Just think about it. You know, could you do like a group resurrection? You know, Lav, the Banshee, the zombies. You know, it's a good resurrection.
Yeah, you'll be in that if you keep talking.
You don't want me as a zombie.
I definitely don't.
Valentine then begins the hour-long ritual. Are you trying to be quiet throughout this, or is it now a rush of let's just get it done?
What do you envision this entails? Like chanting? I usually envision like doing like a summoning circle like on the ground, and then do you think there's like a chanting component to it or something?
It involves a verbal, somatic, and material component through the spell. So there would be, I wouldn't necessarily, I don't consider it chanting unless you fall under like the realm of like a priest or cleric, in which case it's kind of a different like process. For an arcane caster such as yourself, I think of it more in incantation and reciting words. There still is a reciting process, but less in the realm of chanting. But the only materials you require necessarily are the diamonds, which are placed upon Lavender's form, and toward the end you've seen it happen, the diamond dust kind of cascades over, and whether it works or not, it kind of spreads across the undead or the dead form. So it still doesn't require a verbal component to it.
I don't think he wouldn't be whispering. He would be trying to do this calmly, but obviously he's rattled. But he wouldn't be like delicately trying to be stealthy. He would just try to be doing it like as well as he can.
For sure. I was just, it may have changed if you were trying to be stealthy or not. But knowing time is of the essence, and just it's never good to see one of your members down. You begin the ritual. There is an hour-long time here, as Allie and Val, unless Allie you want to do something else in this time, are going to be kind of focusing on Lavender, just keeping focused on the ritual component. Though it's not a ritual, you know what I mean. Mary, Gord, and Hondo, are you guys doing anything else?
I mean, some zombies are trying to break in, and then Hondo like broke out of a wall, right?
Yeah, so Hondo and Gord Hondo ripped out the fortifications along what would technically be the northwestern window, and the zombies did a little bit of damage to the southwest window and the straight south window. So there's a little bit of damage done in the south, but Hondo fully kicked through the north window, so it's completely open.
Okay. I, with the tools that I have, do what I can to try to like clean stuff up and patch things up, and very purposefully trying to keep busy. Like even once, there's nothing else to do. It's that like panic thing of, when you like tidy up your house and it's basically tidy already, but someone's coming over, like that kind of keeping busy.
There's still plenty of material to work with. The material itself wasn't destroyed, so you can basically reuse material the zombies and Hondo ripped away. And with confidence that there's less of a need at this point to be stealthy and quiet, you work slowly, but intentionally slow to begin repairing the windows and door. If you guys just want to take the hour to do that, Hondo, go ahead.
I have an idea. I am going to take the carpet and I'm going to use my never mind. I'm going to use my stealth to investigate the sounds I hear.
Okay. As you
stealthiness.
You take off on you go upstairs, get the carpet, and witness. You've seen this ritual before of raised dead. It's not uncommon to you, especially just within your own group. But you pull out the carpet and you set your way out, passing Mary as she's trying to repair some of these windows and doors. And as you take to the carpet, make a perception check. 9 on the die, plus your perception.
I think it's 10. Let me check. Nope, 12. So 21.
As described, you kind of take up into the sky and you can hear the sounds of kind of, as I described, fireworks as Kevin knows them. But you can hear these kind of faint popping explosions to the east. But as you get up in the carpet, you find you have to get fairly high, and you're pushing into several, like 200, 300 feet. Maybe not 300 feet, but 200 to 250 feet in the air to really get a look and see that far away enough to see these faint flashes that are slowly becoming lesser over time. But you can spy that a fair ways away, like probably a couple hours of travel through the city, you can see that there is some, as described in the scry ritual, likely where your pirate crew or your old enemy pirate crew is battling away with the forces of the undead. But as you also kind of turn your vision back towards the bay where you guys are hiding, you see nothing on this side. Everything seems very quiet on this side of the city right now.
I just message Mary, and I'll be like, it looks like, there might be some undead battling around, but I don't see anything near us, so we're good.
Mary grunts a yes because she went to the bathroom right now.
Sorry, get text. Yeah, Mary very quietly responds and continues working. As you guys continued the work of keeping an eye and repairing your fortifications and returning to hole up, Lavender, you follow this shadow through wisps of cloud and vibrant explosive light on the heels of this cloaked figure. Passing by massive ruins of fallen castles, walls and battlements torn asunder, but still held floating and drifting, seemingly locked in time. You see massive crystalline structures of purple and pink that spark with lightning and radiance. Lightning splinters sections of crystal off the massive hunk that then erupt outwards and then sprout wings and take off on their own. You travel for what might be minutes or hours, seeing sights of mind-bending, weird, and spiraling energies before coming across a small island of crystal and stone. At its center, you can see a small pool of bubbling hot water. You see trails of steam that seemingly rise before freezing into ice cubes 5 feet up and falling back into the pool with a faint splash. You see also sitting with legs lazily dangling into the water, relaxing and watching a nearby spiraling rainbow, a white-skinned female changeling. Her hair is curled and bouncy, but vibrantly white. Eyes are deep pools of opal, and a permanent kind of half smile that wrinkles her somewhat older features. You see her wearing a knee-length dress pulled up a little bit, this light yellow color. It's simple, but it's beautiful. You see your mother sitting quietly and content at this odd water's edge in a world of chaos. The shadow figure kind of stops and just drifts slowly beside you. It looks at you.
Can I go see her?
You can see, but as of now, she cannot see you. You exist in a world between worlds.
What does this mean? Am I destined to leave this place or stay here forever?
Well, that is the beauty of choice. I know already the tethers of your life are being pulled in multiple ways. Your friends back home trying to call you back. It is my purpose and my God's purpose to deliver the souls to their rightful end. This seems to be where you belong when it is your time to go. It's up to you whether that is now or later, but truth be told, the end can change, given choice, given your actions. But right now, This is where you belong.
If I go and see her, how and who do I tell that I want to leave? If I do talk to her, how could I ever leave? If I see her in front of me, I have not seen her for years. Will she always be this way? Will she age? Will she die here? Or will this be her eternity forever?
These are questions I cannot answer.
This is something you have to tell me.
If I had the
How could I make this-
would.
Who has that answer?
Perhaps the gods, perhaps the keepers of the weave and destiny. I am but a shepherd.
She puts her head away and starts to float towards her mother.
Very easily, you drift towards this small island, this half stone, half crystalline mix. You can see your mother for the first time, as you say, in years. And you kind of drift close. She doesn't seem to react. She looks content. She's just kind of watching this just brilliant sky of amazing color and like a beautiful artistic representation of space and time come to life.
She kneels before her mother and tries to grab her hand, which I assume doesn't work. And she says, "I'm so sorry that I left you. And that was the hardest thing I had to ever do. And sadly, I think I have to do it again. I assume you will always look like this. You will always be like this right here. And when it is my time, I will be here with you forever, and I will never leave again. But without you knowing, I beg that you forgive me for this second choice. Third time's the charm, I guess. I will be with you again." And she kisses her, and she just strokes her hand through her hair without her mother noticing, I assume. And then she turns her back and doesn't look back to the angel.
As you do try to grab through her hand, and your hand passes through hers. And as you deliver this speech, and you reach out and you kiss her cheek and attempt to brush your hand through her hair, knowing you pass through. Just as you go to turn, you can just see just a faint tear beginning to kind of grow in her eye, and her hand just kind of reaches up to the space where you kissed. She just continues to smile. Just this single tear just kind of rolls and then just drifts off and becoming a small lavender sprig. As you return to the angel. Still in shadow, you still don't see, but you can recognize. You feel the presence of the angel of death.
My job is not done, and my time is not now. It will come, but I think we both know that this is the truth.
I only offer a choice, but now you must wait here as your friends are given that same choice. In the loft above this shop, Alana and Valentine, you have spent an hour.
Allie is done. Oh, Leah's inconsolable, I assume, in the background.
Stupid baby hormones.
And it never goes away.
T-shirt.
Sorry, God.
So good.
Yo, that kissed a tear. That was the
Woo!
Yeah, that was tough. All right. We ain't done yet, folks.
It's not over yet.
No.
Valentine, you feel the final word coming on the tips of your tongue. And no one else, unless in the hour you wish to make your way up to where the ritual is happening. It's currently just Valentine and Alana.
I think I said before I started, if I could, I don't know if this would interrupt it. Can I signal them that the spell's almost coming to completion or something? Just
we know it's an hour, so I'd say I'd start lurking in the background.
I would say it would interrupt for you to, essentially that would be casting another spell.
True.
Spell.
I don't do that.
You would know that in your character, it would, as soon as you try to do something else, it will break focus of this ritual. This is you can't break this ritual. It's a singular moment. But obviously, yeah, everyone knows how this process goes. Mary kind of lurking in the shadows of the stairs. But Alana and Valentine closest. Val, the final word of the ritual comes to fruition. And for a long, long moment, this faint, empty silence trails. Nothing comes. It grows cold. You just hear this faint kind of whistling of wind through the creaking of the wood of this shop in the city of the dead. And then what faint light remains almost winks out, and all the shadow coalesces into a singular creature. You see the hooded figure of the Angel of Death. You can see just faintly, almost as in shadow, these massive, potentially angelic-like feathered wings. But you see no corporeal form as you have before. She seems purely a shadow of this figure. But nonetheless, she stands between Alana and Valentine, we'll say at the head and foot, but basically astride Lavender, and says, "You call upon Death herself and wish to bring this one back."
Yes.
We have been here before, Wildcards. You know an offer must be made, or a card drawn.
Do you know where we are right now?
Indeed I do.
Are you able to know what we're doing? Know that we're trying to stop this seal from breaking, to keep the keeper's scythe away from the wrong hands?
I exist only in this moment to complete this task.
What kind of offers would you be willing to accept?
It is not my acceptance you need to seek. It is the Queen. I am only a mouthpiece, a hand of the goddess.
I am bound to another, Titania, but one in our group does deal with the Raven Queen in his own way. He carries Whisper. Does that mean anything to the Raven Queen?
You see no real perceptible shift in the shadow, but there's a pause. And she says, "Only as long as they wield it well. It'd be a different matter for them to wield it against her wishes. Thus far, seems not to have made any rash decisions with it."
He wishes to continue that path, and this one here before us, Lavender, allows us to do that. has saved me, Brawley, Hondo, this whisper wielder, many times. Is this loyalty to helping Whisper enough of an offer? Do you need more?
Unfortunately, that is not enough to return a soul who has found her rightful place.
I don't accept that's a rightful place. So I guess we'll play chance then.
This is your choice.
I look at Brawley as if, do we have any other ideas? Yeah, that's our choice.
The shadow shifts, and from the wall of shadow, you just see 17 black and gold-rimmed cards, or silver-rimmed cards. Faceless, numberless. Who is going to draw?
I'll do it. She helped me once, so I'm going to return the favor.
Okay. Alana, roll me a d20.
This is so nervous.
9?
I like 9.
Lucky number.
That's her lucky number.
Is it?
It is.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's her jersey number.
Kyle, how we feel?
Do this or that.
No gladiator.
Alana, you look down across Lavender's form. You recall, though you weren't there for it, you were there in spirit when she made a sacrifice. You stand to pull that same card, or a card in kind. And you reach out, you grab hold of cards. They all just kind of drift before you in shadow. And where you grab it, it becomes corporeal in your hand. But where you grab it, you feel this pinprick of pain. It just shocks you a bit. You turn it, and on it, just kind of this like faint shadowy face. You see forming out of shadow what looks like a heart, and you see this faint black crack run through the heart, the shadow kind of seeping through, and this pain ripples from your hand holding the card to your heart. For a moment, you drop to a knee. Deep breath, and the card slips from your hand and into the shadow and dissipates. All 16 remaining dissipate. You are permanently down 1 death save.
Ooh.
But as the angel accepts this sacrifice, the diamond shatter across Lavender. The dust in the faint light you have here sparkling and crystallizing, it drifts across her whole body. This now kind of porcelain skinned, slightly different version of Lavender. And as it just gently rests across, Lavender's chest rises. And you see some color return to cheeks. And without another word, the angel is gone, but Lavender is back.
Lavender begins to sob uncontrollably, just holding herself.
You are currently conscious at 1 hit point.
Alana
Neil.
just drops down and, like, hugs her.
I'm gonna cry again.
I'll kneel down with arms over both of them, and I'll be like, Lavender, you look so weird. You're like, your form is different. I don't know if you noticed.
I don't even pay attention to anything he's saying because I'm just so uncontrollable. I'm like shaking a little.
I will just radio the group and be like, we got her back. Can we take a break for like 3 hours now? Need to like cool off.
That worked out. Hey.
God.
In her uncontrollable crying, she then like goes like this around Valentine and then wraps her arm around Brawley.
Try and get back.
I
right
go
in
like
there.
this.
Like, right back in there. No, I'll leave him. I'll like quietly shut the door, and then just like slump against the door and like fall down.
There's no door.
I'll slump against the door, right?
It's just an open like loft.
Keith is there.
Keith is
I'll just
just
slump
kind of
against
chilling.
I'll slump against this pet of horns.
Standing awkwardly in the background, I'll
In
just
the shadow.
pat Valentine on the shoulder.
I think that one hurt Brawley to do. I don't know what it means, but it wasn't as seamless as the other ones.
We knew we got lucky before.
We had the sun card, the moon card, and that was a heartbreak card.
You had the star card and the moon card.
We had the star card and the moon card.
Sun's a little different.
Oh boy.
Oh no. Do not like.
Well, as I'm as relieved as I am that you can do this, let's just try to avoid it and having to do it in the future.
I don't like doing it. I saw Hondo just like come into the room, say nothing, take the carpet and leave. Do you know where he went?
He vaguely said something about stealthiness, but he pronounced it wrong like 3 times.
God, that's
And
embarrassing.
then he left. I kind of nailed him out of the room, so I guess I should try to keep an eye on and let him back in at some point.
We all still have to rest. I'm hurting. I'm sure you're hurting. Lav and Brawley are hurting.
How the fuck are we gonna survive 2 more nights of this?
Yeah, that's legit. Lav looks like death. She's gonna take a while to like get back to full strength, but yeah, I guess it was still her and I's watch. So
No, you
Leave
guys
me on one?
sleep. I'll take over. That's fine.
all right, what,
It's been the last hour or half hour of your watch, regardless.
Val's?
Yeah, of Valentine and Lavender. It was towards the end. So that does put us still at about still midnight-ish.
It's still some good chance to sleep. Even if we have to delay tomorrow when our friend comes, just to make sure we're all ready. I'd rather us be up and ready. And can you hear this shit that's going on? Like the cannons and the zombies? I don't know what we signed up for.
Well, hopefully enough of them wipe each other out tonight so we have less of a chore tomorrow. I don't even know what our plan is tomorrow, but we'll figure it out. Just get some sleep.
I'll watch. I've been thinking about what the hell our plan is, and yeah, I need to sleep on it. All right. Good night. I'm gonna go probably just not even move and sleep on this goat.
Yes, that's probably fair. I'll go in the earring. Hondo, where are you?
I'm almost there. I'm coming up.
Okay, well, I'll let you radio me when you get back. Everyone else is going to sleep. You and I can just take the watch.
Very
Said Hondo.
I'm gonna have to let you in because I had to lock you out because you left when I was fixing this place up. Just come where the immovable rod was. That's easier door to open.
Got it.
As Hondo does return, Lavender falls asleep. One thing of note, obviously, I'm sure Scott has already told Amanda. Coming back from the dead, bit of a process.
Not fun.
Lavender is currently down -4 to all ability checks, attack rolls, and saves. Attack rolls, ability checks, and saves. Yeah, basically everything.
Will one sleep now help that?
So what I'm gonna do, because it's kind of a weird part of the night,
Yeah.
Lavender, throw me a Constitution saving throw. DC 12.
But then is it also at disadvantage?
It's not disadvantage, and I'm not going to do the -4 penalty. This is like a out of game thing.
Oh, okay, then technically it's 19.
So I would say this will reduce the first one. This will count as the first one. So going forward, you will be at -3.
Do we just mark that at exhaustion? Like 3 exhaustion? Is that how we do it?
No, because exhaustion has other stuff too. You just got to remember to subtract 3 every time you
keep
roll.
That's just how we do it?
Just keep a note that whatever you roll, take 3 away. Basically, on every roll you're going to make.
Sure.
Because exhaustion's more about disadvantage. So in theory, you could still get exhausted and still need to check those things. So
Great.
Yeah.
Hey, you're alive, though. That's the main.
You're alive. You're at. Oh, who's calling?
Seemed pretty nice there, though. I don't know.
Where were you, though? That's what we gotta talk
I missed the whole first half of that description, and I came back, and then I just hear something about Lavender's mom, and it was like, what the fuck is going on?
We'll talk about it later if she does it.
I'll re-listen to it. This is why we record.
And you want to bawl your eyes out. Jesus Christ.
Unless there's something that the remaining people on watch wish to accomplish. Who is texting me?
Kevin, stop texting Kyle. Save your nudes for another time.
I need to get another level quicker.
I thought you were going to need level ups. Like Hondo nudes.
Unless you guys who are on watch wish to have a moment to talk with anybody or have anything accomplished, then we will just jump ahead to the morning.
I just mentioned to Hondo at some point while we're on our watch that maybe he and I should just keep an eye on Lavender for the next day. I can't do anything to heal her, but hopefully he can help, and I'll try to keep an eye out for people who might hurt her. That's it.
Cool. The night does continue quietly. Still creepy. Still this constant sound of howling wind and this faint, like almost sounds like whispering at all times. It's just bad. But you do notice a faint light begin to kind of creep through the faint cracks as daybreak comes, though you realize it will be best for everyone to sleep in a little bit longer after such a eventful night.
I support this.
And you're not sure exactly what time, but later than a typical wake up by the sun adventuring party. A couple hours go by in the early morning before everyone comes to consciousness. Everyone does achieve a long rest, so for all of you can go through a long rest process on your character sheets. Everybody gets all hit points and spells and all that jazz back. If you have used anything that has a dice to roll for regaining numbers and shit for staffs
that's
or
your staff.
wands.
Put your armor back on if you took it off.
I assume that's part of just the morning.
No, I just mean like if on D&D Beyond, if you actually clicked it off the last fight, remembered to put it back on.
I don't think I did that with anybody because it was so late in the game that it happened.
I took mine off.
Aren't you special?
I took mine up.
Well, I'm just saying, otherwise someone's going to be like, what? Why does 15 hit me?
Does equipment reset? Have we talked about this? I'll check. I wonder if it does.
Some does, some doesn't. Some
this doesn't.
Stuff doesn't. But some of the most of the actual prepared stuff by D&D Beyond does. So if you're curious, just ask me or read it. But for the most part, everything is back to normal-ish. Day is yours.
Can I go to Lavender and Brawley? I assume they're just still passed out. Or waking up now. It's like
everyone is coming to conscious, if not already conscious.
I'll knock on the door frame.
There's no door.
Hey there.
Hello.
Have you changed back, by the way?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Has she changed back? Are you changed back? I'm not asking you right now.
Oh, yeah. I'm full form.
Okay. Are you okay? Do you need any healing? Are you feeling all right?
Yep. No, I'm feeling great. All night I would have told Brawley everything.
You you were pretty upset, and I can totally understand when you came back.
What do you understand?
That it was probably a very painful ordeal.
Painful. Yes.
Do you want to talk about it at all?
I think there will be a time, maybe a place, maybe a nice place with a spa, maybe some complimentary breakfast. I don't know, something on you.
I love it. I would be down.
But I think I am full up at the moment. And I would like to move past this for a second.
Okay.
Thank you.
So yeah, I've never really listened to what people tell me, so I'm just going to keep talking.
I do appreciate you doing the thing.
So that person has a lot of rules. There's a lot of threads. We're on a quest. We're doing things. But we get to decide our own fate. We've battled devils and demons and brought people back
Valentine?
to life. Yeah.
I know that decisions have to be made. I know they are hard. I have made some of those decisions. And I know that oftentimes that dictates your fate. I get it. You don't need to talk to me like I'm a child. I've been through much more than I think that you have in the past 24 hours.
So what I was trying to say is no one dictates our fate but us. And I don't care what anyone says.
Okay.
So whatever you've been through, that's your business. But no one dictates our fate but us. And we're all willing to battle for each other's fate. And I will pay for that breakfast. But spas are pretty expensive, so we might have to split that. And I'll walk away.
She smirks a little and says, no, that'll be on you.
I have a lot of money, that's fine.
And then just goes back inside and shuts the door.
There's no door.
Oh yes, that has been previously established many a time.
Pretend.
Evidently.
Go to slam a door that's not there.
But you are all conscious and alive, ready for the day. What's the plan?
What is the plan? Valentine asks to the group.
Well, what's her face was supposed to meet us here. I'm assuming that hasn't happened yet.
Hopefully we can chat before she gets here.
Yeah.
Is that okay? Can we do that, DM boss? If she's not here already, let's have a quick little powwow. We want to get her brother back, right? That was part of the deal. We also, in 3 days' time, want to stop whatever insane madness is going to, I don't know, open the seal up. We know the seal partly has to deal with the Keeper's Scythe, right? It shows up, I don't know. But like, what's our play here? What's our play? Do we steal Gambino's airship and get the fuck out of here? Hondo, are we gonna kill Gambino if we see him? Like, I really need your input here and how this shit's about to go down. What are we walking into?
Look around you. The person on your left may not be there if we fight Gambino.
Okay, so let's not fight Gambino.
But you might want to fight him because he'll just be a thorn in us for many, many more years to come.
Okay.
And you know, he wants everything we don't.
So I was also thinking, we're gonna walk into this camp, right? And I had this like elaborate ruse planned where we're like your lackeys as like a captain or something. Sierra knows who we are. We like defeated her, imprisoned her, and handed her to the authorities. And I just had a vision of her with Gambino where they were torturing the guy we're about to save. So, like, what's the plan, Kat?
I mean, to be fair, she knows who 4 of us are.
Brawley and Lav. Lav can barely stand. She just reamed me out for talking about breakfast.
Can we draw in Sierra and kidnap her?
Okay, we did it once, and then a whole city burnt down.
Yeah, but this time when we draw Gambino in, we don't let him burn any city because we take him down.
So yeah, like I these are good conversations to have, and like let's all chime in here. It's just,
do we have any poison? I have poison. I can poison him.
So here's the thing, though. We go in there, right? We save the guy. We get out. Maybe that's just the play. Save the guy, get out. Wait 2 more days for this like next seal thing to happen. I don't even fucking know. Try and stop that, because that means hell will unleash across this whole place. It's just, if we go in there and try and kill Gambino, we're fighting his witch bitch. We're fighting a giant army of robots. And then at night, all the zombies come, and then whatever terrifying woman we just fought.
So we don't know for sure. It's probable, but we don't know for sure that Gambino is working with Revenant Vow. We know that he flat out told the Eldrazi to go fuck off. Right? So there's a very least, there's a little bit of tension between two groups, that one is working for the Vow, unknown about the other one. Is Gambino someone who can be bought off or reasoned with for now? We got a giant ass bag of gems. No idea how much of that it's worth. But is there something we can do to make a deal with fucker to just fuck off? Or potentially, hey, all these bitches who are coming are Eldrazi people. We know you don't like them. I don't know. I'm obviously not going to be the one to do that talking, because it never goes well. But Hondo, is he someone who can be bought? Or is he the kind of person who will pretend to be bought and then go back on his word?
Oh, you will definitely go back on his word. And we try and take the guy from him, he's gonna be out looking for him. So we have no choice but to confront him.
He shit in a box and then sent it back to a group of assassins after stealing their money. I also think I like that play, but I also just think how much, and I had a vision of her yesterday when I was scrying on her. That woman is insane and was torturing a guy for like orgasmic pleasure. Like, this is not someone we want to like try and barter with.
Oh no, we know they're terrible, and we know we don't want to be on their side. But maybe any of these things is a naivety, like, you know, playing naive talking points and getting us in there while someone else potentially gets around and at least tries to get this guy to safety.
We should. What we can do is, Valentine, you have that explosive vial. You have, or 2 of them, I think. We blow them up.
That reminds me, when I went to attack that dragon, there was only 1 vial. I could have sworn I had 2 vials.
Don't look at me. That thing with me, I'd probably be dead by now. It'd blow
You're
it
right.
up.
You would be dead for sure. So you don't have it. Let's get into that later.
But let's consider blowing them up in their lair.
That's only 1 vial, though. Like, I'm down to use them.
But it's a huge bang.
You've said that before. What if that's our in terms of, what if they haven't seen that before and we could try and barter with that? Hey, we have a supply of this. You could start dropping these. I mean, they might already have it. They were teamed up a little bit, but like, I don't know if that's something we could use with the pirates. Part of me was also thinking, how is Gambino controlling a bunch of like robot creatures? I barely know what a robot is, but like...
Oh my god, I forgot about those guys.
Yeah, the robot things. But then what it like, brainstorming a bunch of things. What if we tried to steal his airship as a distraction? I admit, I just want that airship. I think that'd be pretty dope.
Let's take the airship and we'll send him on a wild goose chase. But we should set up a trap.
This is the beginnings of an amazingly bad plan. I really like. Why don't we see what...
And wing it.
Yeah, why don't we just wing it?
Don't you have the scry this morning still?
Yeah, I do.
We can choose who we want to scry on.
I have better luck with Seer because I've actually encountered her. Like, trying to scry on the brother or trying to scry on Gambino would be tough.
Well, let's wait until Celine comes. Isn't there an option of if you have something that belongs to them, maybe she has something that belongs to him?
Yeah, we can wait for Celine.
And maybe she'll have some suggestions. I don't know. But yeah, I'm afraid of going in with a plan when we haven't seen the whole picture.
Yeah.
I like the option so far. Does anyone have any ideas for these giant metal men? I know, Gord, previously you could make metal hot. I don't know if that would do anything to them, or if you can still do that.
Yeah, we melt them.
I think that's a druid thing. But, I don't know. I don't know how to...
We encountered a giant robot in
the abyss.
The abyss. and it had a specific task that it needed to do, and then it kind of went back to its charging bay. I don't know if these robots follow similar orders where they just have to do one task. Like, can they think for themselves? Are they pretty rigid?
We know very specifically what doesn't work, Hondo, which is throwing a jar of leeches at them. So we can cross that one off the list.
That's true.
Yeah, we eliminated that. Also, I'm pretty sure, now that I think about it, I think metal, at least against that specific creature, we don't know if they're the same ones, heating it seemed to, like, make it better. Like,
I bet, like,
healed it.
I bet, like, trying to stab it would be harder. I don't know.
But I vaguely remember someone shooting fire at it, and it helped make it better.
I have to go to the bathroom before Celine shows up, so I'm just going to head outside this zombie place, and then...
We have invisibility. Let's use it to steal the ship.
Or let's use it to get someone in past them, someone they're not expecting to be with us.
Either way,
someone to potentially help free that dude, so at least, or, you know, get a better eye on him so that they can't use him as leverage.
Mm-hmm.
Hondo, you have invisibility, right?
I do.
Valentine does as well. And Lavender, don't you have that?
Yes, I do.
Okay. That's enough options.
And they have twin spell.
Right, so you can do a couple people at a time. That's handy. Okay, I think that's a good option. You know, as much as let's walk up to them and talk to them just as a distraction. That's never worked in the past, but fuck it, we can try it again. Maybe get some invisible people in there to try to get a better look while that's happening. Like you said, Hondo, draw him out. You're probably the best person to try to draw him out. To try to get him to come and talk. You're a pretty good antagonizer.
I definitely have a history, so yeah, I'll bring him out, you know, I'll invite him to drinks, and then we'll see what happens.
So, I mean, you might have to play nice for at least the first little bit, or at least play like there's, you know, something you could potentially offer him, or have something to ask of him, so he doesn't just try to murder everyone right away.
Give me the vial, I'll offer it to him, you know, we'll work a deal, maybe I'll poison him.
That doesn't quite sound like, well, yeah, we can figure it out. I don't know. This is just your dude. We don't know him, so we should, we should probably follow your lead.
I'll invite him to drinks, and then I'll need someone behind the bar, invisible, who will slip the poison into his drink.
I'll do it.
Very well. We have a plan.
If that is the actual plan. I don't think I've ever heard you just say, "Oh, yeah, if that's the plan."
We're gonna poison the guy. That's the plan.
Do you have an ingestible poison? Like, actually curious.
I do have a couple of poisons.
Are they ingestible though? Because there's a couple poisons I know you have that are the kind that have to go in a blade. So just make sure you read the descriptions.
I'll do a double check.
I know Gord has a poison that he got specifically made that's like a sleep spell poison. Out of game, they need to have really low hit points for that to work. So,
I have drow poison.
Yeah, I think that's a blade one, but read it.
And I have wyvern poison.
Yeah, wyvern poison is definitely the kind that needs to be like in the bloodstream on a blade. So that just knocks out a bunch of hit points. It's not gonna fucking kill him right away.
So drow poison is you have to put on a blade, but it does inflict the poisoned condition. And has, if the saving throw, you have to make a constitution saving throw, be poisoned for an hour. If the save fails by 5 or more, the creature is unconscious while poisoned in this way.
We don't know how hardy this dude is, but
it's based
to be
on
fair,
injury.
I might be able to tell. If I can get a good enough look at him for a minute, I might be able to get a rough idea of how hardy he is.
Oh, thank God you're back. Hondo wants to poison this person.
Which, Celine?
Yeah. I'm going to go behind the bar, poison the person. Hondo said, perfect, that's the plan. I'm invisible. He's in front, distracting everybody.
So the pirate that, like, is in charge of all the pirates, you just want to sneak in and poison him.
No, so the plan was I invite him to drinks. We have a history. He'll have a drink with me.
Okay, all right.
There will be invisible behind the bar and will slip the poison into his drink.
Okay, then what?
And then when he drinks it, he'll be poisoned.
Keep going. Then what?
Once he starts acting, lethargic, weak, I go in with and stab him.
Then what?
Well, then he's dead.
Perfect. He's dead. We are now in a layer of robots and pirates he used to be the leader of.
Well, now I'm the leader. I'll cut his head off. I'll hold it up and be like, yeah, I am your leader.
Okay.
Plan's falling apart. It sounded relatively promising at the beginning, but weirder shit has happened. Let's at least try to get a bead on, what's going on there. Get a bit of a view of what we're up against. I like the idea of initially, Hondo, of you trying to get in and have a conversation with him. It'll work as partially distraction. If we can get him poisoned and hurt him a little bit, that's great. And I think while that's happening, I don't think everyone needs to be there, potentially. Someone could be... Oh, wait, no, you don't have Jamichael anymore. Or
Okay.
you do, but not prepared.
So you recognize that you're going to invite him to drinks. He is still with Syrah, his longtime companion, who we fought almost to the death.
Well, what we'll do is, we don't have to kill him when he's poisoned, but we hold him hostage. Sierra will not do anything to risk his life.
Why?
I mean, they also have a hostage, though, right? We have to keep that in mind. Our whole point is to go and get...
No.
There are other reasons, but partially we need to get this guy out of here because he knows some shit that might be able to help us coming through, and then all his friends will help us.
How about this? So I kind of like your idea. Sorry to cut you off. Keep going.
No.
So I kind of like your idea in terms of some sort of negotiation, some sort of parlay. What do we have to parlay with? What do we have to barter with that would be of interest?
Him.
What was that?
Him. We'll have him hostage.
Okay, how do we get him just plain old hostage? Just plain old Gambino, the king pirate trickster. We just happen to get hostage.
Well, once he's poisoned, and then Lavender will lift her invisibility and we'll take him from behind and he'll have no escape.
Okay, so there's a lot wrong with this plan because I don't know where this is taking place that for some reason we can just do this.
At the bar.
Oh, man.
Hear me out. I partly agree with part of this insanity. What if we barter with something that we know they want? We know that Syrah loved a good gate gem. She had a gate gem to the abyss and that weird, remember you went through a portal and it was really spooky scary? Remember?
Yep.
We have gate gems.
But that's how I'll come in. I'll say, Gambino, I have a gem and I don't want it.
I feel like it'll be easier to barter with this person than it is for you to barter with Hondo right now.
Truly, I think less people would die. What if we use the gate gem as hey, we have something that you would be interested in. You have something that we would be interested in. Let's make a deal. We have the gate gem. I think we have 2 of them. We also have a gate gem fucking compass.
Apparatus.
We also have a gate gem apparatus thing that they could be interested in.
I also have the Elven Klein cloak that I tried to sell that one person way back there, and then they didn't want it.
Never works. We got a new one too.
I could sell that.
Hondo, how do you feel about that? Some sort of gate gem deal. Now, I didn't like the idea where you said you just give it to them because you don't want it anymore. I feel like that ruins a lot of the negotiation.
Well, I'll say, I found this and I know it's worth something. What can you offer? We talk, obviously.
Yes, but what do we want? We want we want his ship and we want the brother. He's going to be like, fuck off, you're not getting my ship. And we're going to be like, fine, we'll take the brother.
I don't know if
We'll
you should
take
say
the brother, and
found
also
it.
you have to leave town.
He's not going to do that part.
No, he's not going to do any of this. Let's be honest. All of this is going to end up in a brawl. But at the very least, some of this is going to end. We can talk through some of it. But we've never successfully negotiated something where it hasn't ended up going to shit. Especially when Hondo's going to be in charge against someone that he fucking hates.
Oh, Hondo, how much do you think this guy fucking hates you?
Hondo, I don't think that you should say that you found it. I think you should say you paid so many, many golds for
Well,
this.
I mean, we can say it's the one Sierra was looking after before because it's not, but it'll look the fucking same.
I'm starting to think that it would not be a good idea if I draw him in. I think a stranger approaching him with this gem would be better. He'll have his guard down, and then I can lurk in the shadows and stab.
I could dress as somebody completely new, and I do a changeling into Hondo.
I don't like this. I don't like that.
We'll send
Hondo. I have so many good ideas.
No, I don't like that. There's too many Hondos in this room right now.
Oh, you want
Lavender-
someone a little bit prettier? I'd turn into Valentine.
I like this a lot better. This one I really like.
Look, Lavender's harmless to him. He'll be like, oh, innocent person with a gem. I'll just pay them off. They'll go. That's when we strike.
What does this person like? What do they like?
I like this idea. I like this ingenuity. I like this initiative. But Lav, you just died. You can barely stand, it looks like. I don't want to put you in the lion's den again.
Say la vie, man.
You know what? He has a point. But
If anyone's going to talk, I'll talk.
I just think having Hondo there is a legitimate connection, and even if he hates Hondo, that might be useful.
I agree. I 100%
He
agree.
won't trust me. He will not trust me, and it will end up in sword fight very
I
quickly.
feel like he's not going to trust any of us no matter what, but if we're both playing like we're pretending to trust each other, at least then both people behave for the smallest amount of time.
Lavender
Better
is
than it starting into a blood brawl literally the second you show up.
What we need is a reason for him to not kill you on sight. So you have to have some sort of bartering power out of presence. So that could be, hey, I know you probably want to kill me right now, but I got 2 gate gems with your name on it if you don't.
Oh, he will just... You see, the Gambino doesn't always have to negotiate. He can just attack right there if he doesn't like you. Lavender has the look of, I want to get to know this person. So I think he will let his guard down with her. That's when we can strike. Valentine doesn't look too threatening.
I
Lord,
look
we haven't heard
beautiful.
what you've said. What's you've dealt with pirates before too.
Gord, if you were to fight a pirate in their own pirate castle, how would you do it?
Probably with the act of surprise.
Yeah.
Know that I'm their enemy.
Yeah. That's the other thing, us doing all this talking, it ruins our element of surprise. He's got a point.
Should just bust in there and just start shooting.
That's probably a really good idea.
Bust in there, start shooting with a distraction, or is that just going to make it worse?
I mean, bust in there, smash and grab job. I think we get him, get out. We don't try and defeat him. We don't try and do any of that shit. We just get the fuck out. He doesn't even have to know it was the Wildcards or Hondo the Blue, his arch nemesis.
Yeah,
we
but
will
don't you
put him
think
on
he's
our
going to
tail.
want? Don't you think he's going to want to retaliate
To who?
He
Who
will
will
not
he
like
retaliate to?
to the people who want that guy back? They're going to immediately go back and try to fuck up the monks.
Oh, the monks will be fine. They'll be good.
They really won't though, because they got smashed and grabbed by them in the first place.
I feel like that's their problem from there, though. The deal was we get the brother out. Then they can chill with us and join us if they want. But I think I think that's actually a pretty decent plan. Get in, get out, smash and grab.
So we're getting
First-
rid of the whole potential. Okay, you know what? Let's get a scry
Yeah.
off on them.
Yeah.
And if we can get close to this place to see what the fuck it looks like and what we're dealing with before we make any concrete plans. We have 2 ideas.
Yep.
We don't have a for sure way of knowing how to get in there secretly so no one sees us to murder everything and steal what we can.
Yep.
Don't have a way to execute that yet, but it's an option.
Yep.
Let's at least get as much information as we can from Celine about where they are and what she knows about their place and how many of them there are, and at least try to peek in on them again before we make any key decisions.
Love it. Maybe we wait till Celine's here before we scry.
Yeah, again, maybe she has something that'll help us get a look at her brother.
Would anyone like some dried lambus bread for breakfast? Anyone?
I can eat, I guess.
I'll take some.
All right. There you go. Now let's just wait till Celine shows up.
I'm telling you,
Hmm?
Lavender will have his guard down.
No.
In fact, Lavender should go in trying to seduce him, being like, you big tough guy, I like that.
Right.
How quickly you are to put me in a seduction role, the lowered level of a more female character, and whilst you don't even welcome me back from the death.
From the death.
It's a very interesting role you have been playing in my life here, Hondo.
Also,
I mean-
in front of his very murderous girlfriend.
He would, first of all, Gambino does not just have one girlfriend. Okay,
seems-
that's not,
That
let
seems
that not be. let's not beat around the bush here.
Yeah.
Also, you know, I mean, he will more likely fall for you than me, okay? I'm a great seductor, but, you know, I with Gambino, it will not work.
Okay, great. So I'm glad we established that. Let's wait for Celine.
That is so far the only true thing that is said. Entire probably hour.
Yeah, hour of roleplay.
Oh my god, I said so much truth. It literally broke me.
In fairness, I might have been getting coffee in that time.
He was getting coffee in the time that mostly Lavender and Hondo were talking about potentially Lavender disguising herself as many members of the party. So there wasn't a whole lot they missed.
How dare you? I was very much looking forward to Gord's input.
I will throw out one more idea. We send in Brawley as a royal ambassador, let's call it. You know, he
would be a royal ambassador. You know that, right?
I'm just staring at the window, waiting for Celine, just like staring.
Make a perception check.
God, where is she?
Valentine.
Brawley is a royal.
Wow,
Natural 20.
As you look out,
I was like, thank God.
you can see very well stealthed 5 of these monks have just been waiting, hiding, watching over the door. Celine is presumably one of them.
Yeah, they've been here. They're probably listening to all this bullshit. I think we're like a trash group, so can someone help me with this door?
Yeah, there's no. You just here. I'll just click off the rod on the one window.
I'll just be heaving on the rod.
It finally breaks loose. You're like, I got it.
Just like pull it open and like put my arm out the door. Like it's this way. Are we exiting or are we getting them in here?
Why don't we get them in here? It can be
So
stealthy.
you gestured for them to come in there. So as soon as you do that, you see a single figure kind of step out of shadow where once no one saw her, and then she strides towards the window that is now open thanks to the removal rod, and she peers in and says, well, you lot slept in today.
We had a rough night.
What, everybody looks okay at least?
Yeah, a banshee murdered one of us, but then we were able to resurrect them, so it's fine.
How surprised does she look at that? Is it like legitimately like, oh yeah, someone came back from the dead last night? That's totally normal.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's not overly... If any, she looks impressed, but not surprised.
We saw, for like the third time, I don't know, a messenger of your favorite god. So she says hi.
She kind of looks quizzical. She says, a messenger?
Like a raven queen, like symbol, like chosen, I don't know.
Curious.
Yeah. So, you want to save your brother today?
That would be much appreciated, yes. As I said, I'll go along with you, but I'd like to leave my group behind in case the worst should happen. We still have a job to do.
So, we've been talking about a lot of really bad ideas this morning.
We've
love
overheard some, I'll be honest.
Yeah, so that's embarrassing. I apologize. Do you have any idea how we should approach this fortification? My pal Hondo the Blue here spied on them last night. It seems pretty well equipped.
Well, I've only watched it from afar. I was too hesitant to bring my group close for fear that we fall under the same captive as my brother. So I've taken some scouting missions solo to get a look at it. They're positioned in a former chateau or castle of some kind overlooking the shattered coast. It is nearest the lighthouse off in the sea itself, but there's actually quite a bit of damage done to the chateau. In theory, there are several ways in, but one very obvious pathway in. They seem to be kind of coming in shifts and groups, some partying, carousing, and staying on land. Some nights they all leave and return below to the ships, and leave the chateau entirely empty, and then return the next morning. Sometimes they stay through the night and party and fight. But I haven't ascertained much more than a side glance from a distance. Truthfully, I was looking to your expertise.
Well, we might be able to get an idea of what they're up to this morning. Do you happen to have anything your brother owned on you? Or so an item that he was close with?
No, unfortunately.
Fingernails, locket of hair, vial of blood.
Definitely not of that nature.
Don't know
Truthfully,
how close you guys.
not that close. I don't know anyone who should be that close. Truthfully, we pack light, travel such. We don't have many things. The only thing he has of worth, or even that he cares about, is a staff, but he was taken with it.
If this was a quote-unquote smash and grab job, how comfortable would you feel with that? Us quickly getting in there, quickly bailing him out, and then not fighting, just running. Would that, do you think, end up in a retaliation of these people coming to your shores?
I think most certainly they will hunt us down. From the brief encounters we've had with their scouting parties, they take prisoners, and those who even attempt to run either get cut down or face a worse fate.
So are you hoping we could do a little more sabotage?
Truthfully, I'm not sure. I had hoped to not necessarily employ a smash and grab technique as you had suggested. I had hoped for more of a go in quietly and grab and slip away under shadow and darkness. But that's definitely more my specialty.
Yeah, that still works. So just to bring it back around, if we did a stealth and grab job, you would be okay with that?
At the very least, it shrouds a little of the culprit. They don't necessarily, as far as I know. Now, I don't know what my brother has said. I hope that he is strong-willed enough to not give away our position and our purpose. But who knows what they've been doing.
I got a new plan. First, we can spy on your brother through a scrying spell. Make sure he's okay, see if we can get a location on him. That's part one of the plan. 2, Hondo, I've been thinking about how batshit crazy you are and how in your pirate blood that seems to stem. There's gotta be other fucking weirdos like you who are just as impulsive, just as maniacal. This is a pirate crew of drunks like that. There's gotta be some sort of rivals that are thinking about going for the crown. So here's my plan. Bunch of ships stocked there with a bunch of pirates, right? I think we start to spread around that there's a coup about to happen. I say we use our explosive vials on some of those pirate ships. Say that we try and sow discontent among them that there's others going for the crown to Gambino. We don't show ourselves as the Wildcards. We try and make this all about some sort of insider fight. We can try and blow holes in the hulls of ships with these vials while there's a distraction going on. We can even change into someone and be like, oh, I heard one peg has been saying that Gambino's a fuckface and that he had sex with Sierra last night. We do stuff like that, try and sow some discontent, and then while there's all this confusion going on, get the brother, get out, and see what happens from there.
Sounds like this plan might work slightly better as a slow burn over a couple of days, but that doesn't mean that it has to be quick, but that doesn't mean that it couldn't work. I kind of like the idea of getting them to infight. I mean, another option is there's no fucking way all these people are super loyal to Gambino.
I'm saying.
So even if there's I heard someone else's. I don't know what's another rival. Does he have a rival, Hondo?
This is part of the research we'll do. We'll go be invisible. We'll go check out some other pirate ships. The captains.
We find his enemy, and then we blow up his ship, and we frame it as a Gambino job.
We could also bring in the specter of Hondo the Blue. There's a rumor out there that he's coming, and he's coming with firepower. And then other pirates are already starting to become loyal to his side because they want to party. They don't want to fight. They don't want rules like Gambino's instilling.
What if we could also try to spread? Oh my God, this is all like slow burn shit that would work way better over a couple days.
I think we have 3 months, Celine. Do we have 3 months to work with?
I mean, we also know Gambino hates the Eldrazi, right? What if there's, some Eldrazi reps who have been trying to steal away some of his crew, or he's, maybe someone heard that Gambino's just trying to amass some of his own dudes to go fight for someone else, or I don't know, something like that.
What if he's pissed off the wrong people? He's shit in a box. What if we shit in a box and say it's from the Eldrazi and they're coming to murder him? There's
not quite how they work. They're like slightly more, I don't think the shit in the box thing would come from them, but...
Hondo, do you think you could shit at some point today and put it in a box?
I definitely could do that.
Hondo is shit on command in so many instances.
All right, let's scry on your brother, Quinn. See where he is, what his situation is like. I will tell you, I scried on him yesterday. He was alive. He wasn't in the most comfort, but he was alive. And I can do again today. It'll be harder to scry solely on him. I've never met him. But what do you guys think? Should I do that or Sierra?
I don't know. What has the better chance of working? Or what do we want information on? Sierra, we could potentially see where they are. Celine, you said they sometimes leave in the morning.
I noticed some of them going, but I couldn't tell you who.
I think I should do Celine. Sorry, I think I should do Sierra because I have a better chance. I feel like I know her better. I actually fought her. I only saw him in a vision. It could fail.
And you could fail against Sierra either, no matter what, it's a gamble.
A gam... No, I'm not gonna do it.
Low.
I don't want it. Let's, I'll spy on her.
Okay.
Sierra.
You set up the 10-minute ritual of going through with the crystal ball. Hondo, throw me a history check while this is happening as well.
Give me some deets, Hondo. Give me some details. Come on, baby.
Gord, you could do the same, actually. The two of you run in the pirate game.
Pirate twins. 3 for my boy Hondo.
This is the last time we asked him to look for pirate history information. The same thing happened.
Yeah, Hondo,
6.
Hondo lived it, but remembers very little of it.
22 history check.
Say again?
22.
Hey!
Oh.
All right.
Someone was paying
He didn't
attention.
drink a lot back then.
Gord's been...
He was a child.
He was a baby little kitten. Can't blame him for that.
With a big helmet.
Gord, you, while this talk of, as Valentine is settling into this scry ritual, you mull over the idea of Gambino in general and his character, and the potential of sowing discontent and discord amongst the crew, and then the thought of who his rivals are and what other pirates have ever challenged or attempted to rival him. And you remember back to your early days as a young pirate alongside a younger, dashing Triton. And you remember hearing tales of Gambino coming up through kind of the ranks aboard a ship known as the Devil's Charm. And this ship was captained by Captain Godric Blackwood. You remember that name, it stuck out. He was a fearsome pirate. Many tales of plundering and pillaging, and a crew that was very loyal through fear, but also they were paid pretty well. So fear and coin. And you remember his name specifically. You remember the Devil's Charm because that was the first pirate captain that Gambino mutinied and killed. He took his ship. He took kind of the captain of said ship, of the Devil's Charm, and rallied the crew through mutiny. But has since kind of captained the same way, ruling through fear of either mutiny, death, torture, and knowing also that he has Sierra alongside him and potentially other fucking crazy, batshit crazy crew. Fear is a pretty powerful motivator for a lot of people to follow through. But nonetheless, you remember that name, you remember that ship. You know it's going to take a fair amount of work to sow this discontent, but it's happened before.
Godric Blackwood?
Yep, Godric Blackwood.
Tight. Mary, saw what you put in the chat.
What is the save of the crystal ball?
Sorry, pull it up quick. Equipment.
I think actually I saved. I rolled a 17.
That might be it. Let me just check. Crystal ball.
Yeah. No, it's like 14. It's low.
DC 17.
Oh, so she saves.
Unfortunately, the 10 minutes of scrying attempt, and perhaps through pure luck, perhaps they were aware of potential eyes the night previous and have taken some kind of precaution. You're unsure, but nonetheless, your vision goes nowhere.
There was like the modifiers, like if you know the person or something like that.
Well, this is still Sierra, so it's a flat.
Okay, sweet.
There was no plus or minus. Yeah, we went through that last time. You have no personal effect or anything like that. You have first-hand knowledge, but not second-hand or, whatever the other one is. I know it's a 0.
Straight up 0. Tight.
So it was straight dice plus her modifier. And unfortunately, 17. So,
didn't work. I don't know what that means, but I'm pretty tired. I had to, bring this one back this night. I have, if we're just talking about things, remember in the cave of with the frost giants, I just told a couple of them to piss off. My compulsion spells are getting stronger. I could suggest to a bunch of people to do something and it might work. Something to keep in mind.
Yeah.
Could declare that to a crew. Who knows?
I too have an illusion spell ability.
What is it?
What's it called?
It's a minor illusion?
No. It's better than that.
No. You mean phantasmal force, baby?
Yeah.
Hey.
That's like a damaging one, but that's cool. That's cool.
Mage.
Well, I think we should start the scry failed. I think we should try and get close here and just do some reconnaissance from a distance, be stealthy, get some perception, but...
Are we going in pretending to be pirates?
I don't even think we get that far. I think we pure stealth, try not to be seen, see what we can see, what ships are away, what ships are here. Do you think, Celine, you would recognize that dreadnought that Gambino has if it was at port or not?
Certainly. I think without having seen it, you'll recognize which is the Iron Dreadnought. However, this is a question of where it is I lead you. I can lead you anywhere within this city. I have a pretty good knowledge of it, but do you wish me to take you to the chateau or down to where they have their ships docked? It will certainly be more difficult to stealth our way along the beach heads towards where they have this kind of dock area where the ships are all anchored off the coast.
Yeah, I guess that was my ignorance. Is the chateau near the docks, or how far are they?
Up a very steep cliff.
Okay. I think we should go to the chateau first. I think that's where they were. Is the chateau fortified? Yeah.
From your scry last night, they appeared to be in a very
Fortified.
old, but nice. Well, not necessarily fortified. There were some full like stone, heavy, nice stone walls, and like it looked like an old building, but a strong, sturdy interior. But when Syrah and the Warforged were battling with the undead, there was just an entire blown out open wall. Like, it's not necessarily a fully intact structure. This whole place has become ruins, and this place is seemingly no different. You don't know the extent of that or what protections they have over it, but you know that it's not like a hard castle, 4 walls, battlements, the whole 9.
I say we go to there.
And just see what we can see before we make any decisions. Is that?
Yeah.
If it's up a cliff, then you'll have a vantage point.
Yeah, it's true.
Okay. It is a few hours if you're ready. That's right.
I'm ready. Born ready.
Then follow me. Celine begins. She takes a quick moment as you all make your way out. Are you just trying to like all make your way out the same like window, or are you going to just open up the door?
Probably the way she crept in. We could just all go out one at a time.
Keeps it safe.
I guess it would ruin the stealth, but I was thinking of using the carpet, but I guess that'd be pretty obvious. Maybe we'll just keep that in mind. Is it like cumbersome to just carry the carpet?
Oh yeah.
Okay,
it's
then...
like a 8-foot long carpet.
Okay, we'll keep it in the bag, but if we need it later, we can bring it out.
I mean, it wouldn't be necessarily cumbersome for 2 people to carry either end, and you could walk like that, but it's certainly not going to make traveling swift or stealthy.
Yeah, let's keep it in the bag.
Probably safest. But nonetheless, Celine begins to lead you all through the city of Casterion. Leading down this road, she has a brief moment as you all kind of filter out of the shop, where she speaks with her other monks, and you all travel as a small group to the point where this broken bridge section is on this side, and you see the island with the Temple of the Raven Queen across in the middle of the Horseshoe Bay. The other monks begin to kind of make their way down into the bay ravine and away from you as Celine pulls you all further east down kind of a main thoroughfare of this ruined city. The streets are old cobblestone, covered in dust and debris of broken stone and wood. And for the first hour of travel, you just kind of make your way, keeping not necessarily to the shadows, as it is kind of broad daylight, but you make your way kind of close to the edges of buildings, in the need that you could duck within or around the corners of. However, the first hour, relatively quiet travel, and eerily quiet travel in what you've come to expect from a city such as this. But you make your way down a couple of side streets and up and over as you feel kind of a constant incline of this city, rising up towards the east as you continue through. Breaking into the second hour, you're pushing through more stately looking structures. They seem larger with more land to them. You see kind of these large long fences that would lock off certain areas around homes and potential buildings of shops or like city type council structures and things like that, all seemingly abandoned and destroyed and empty. You continue edging into beyond the second hour, where you come to a point where the city begins to kind of flare into more of somewhat countryside and breaks up a bit. And you are on this main kind of drag, this main path, and you see it break into 2 directions at this point. You see a main kind of path break up and away, headed towards the north. And you look it off towards the north, and it would lead back towards where the Vale and north of the continent would be. And across down this path, you see this kind of large, now broken, but once archway of this kind of entrance into the city. And beyond it, you just see a massive graveyard, just stretching for hundreds of grave sites, long and wide as far as you can see. It is the largest graveyard you've ever seen. And you see several different large mausoleums amongst beautiful looking headstones, some far less beautiful and weathered and chipped, fallen over, but it just extends outwards for very, very far. However, Celine pulls you further into the east, southeast actually, kind of following a main drag that leads up into a far more ritzy upper area of ruined, but once beautiful and expensive looking homes, businesses, chateaus, and the like. You see castles and towers that have broken off, but you see they had circular towers that would jut out from larger structures and battlements across for potential soldiers or just general protection. But you begin to see Valentine, you kind of begin to recognize some of the exterior of a building of what you believe it would look like within the day. And Celine kind of pulls you off all into this wide open, just like the one wall is completely blown out, doors and windows entirely destroyed, but into a stone structure, home, small castle home. And you look through the windows and through the dust and debris up the hill, up on this kind of shattered cliff to a small handful of smaller structures, but there's one that has a kind of a rising spire, and then a couple of smaller spires and turrets, but a singular, like, just massively broken wall, like the whole front section has been just cleaved by a giant's hand came down and just smashed it and pulled away. And it looks familiar to your visions. She kind of looks up and says, that has been the majority of activity coming from there. I have to imagine that's where they are. I don't know what you want to do to proceed.
What time of day do you think it is? Like, where's the sun in the sky?
You guys are looking at just after noon, so still pretty high up.
Like, Mary, I don't know if you want to bring Mirabelle out for some aerial reconnaissance. I would do that.
She's a little shiny and a little easy to spot is my concern.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was going to say get real high.
I don't know. If I get real high, I'm not going to be able to see shit.
Well, alternative option. We don't
have Jermichael, do we?
I don't think so. But we do have a stealthy Triton. What do you think, Stealth Boy? You want to see if you can do some reconnaissance without...
I can do it.
Can you do it without kicking a door in?
I cannot guarantee that there will not be blood, but I can do it.
Blood? I was talking about a door.
So last time we asked you to scout ahead, I believe you murdered a sleeping frost giant.
And it made our lives easier.
It did, but then later it really got hairy there. Just try and make this one pure stealth if you can.
Okay.
A little invisibility might not hurt too.
We're looking for someone who looks like this. Celine. We're looking for Quinn. He was chained to a post in the middle of the courtyard, if that helps.
Okay.
You also, I know you're a Triton, but I mean, you could go invisible like Mary said. I don't know if you have some sort of disguise spell, but like, you're a pirate. You could just walk around if, I don't know, if you encounter other people, just, do that, pretend you're supposed to be there.
Let me check if I have a disguise self spell. I think I do.
I thought you did, right? I couldn't remember.
I think I do.
It does. It lasts half an hour? An hour?
It lasts 1 hour.
Hondo can do a lot in an hour.
I'm going to disguise myself as Gambino.
That's a terrible idea.
Mark off the spell slot.
But also, okay, disguise self doesn't change your height, and he's a gnome.
That's fair.
So you're just be a tall Gambino.
Have you cast the spell?
I haven't cast that.
Were you, I was gonna say, did you cast it, or were you talking, were you localizing options?
I was just talking. I didn't.
Okay. Just saying, you would know this. Hondo would know this because he's tried it a couple times. Like when he tried to disguise himself as a giant dragon, is you can't change your height. Yeah, you can't change your height. You can only change.
That was so funny.
What fight was that in that you tried to... Oh, it was the dragon fight.
Yeah, it was the literal dragon fight.
Literally our last fight. Aline, you're in good hands. You're in good hands.
I know of a pirate. His name is Jack Sparrow. He's a great pirate. I'll change into him, you know?
Sure. As long as you're not going to encounter that guy, that sounds great.
He's like a world over. Don't worry.
Great.
Literal world.
Captain Jack Sparrow.
We'll find out. I'm going to roll randomly to see if Jack Sparrow's here.
Never heard of it. I go with him?
Okay,
I'll
so
stay quietly, or...
Do I cast the spell first, or do I have to roll something?
Nope, this is just a straight cast, and you become your vision of Jack Sparrow. Are you going to look like the Jack Sparrow we all know and love?
Mm-hmm.
The hit movie series starring Johnny Depp.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm gonna choose you look like Johnny Depp from the 5th one though.
Oh, what about the first one?
It's funnier this way to me, and I'm the DM. So
we just watched that movie. It was so bad.
Oh, rough stuff.
Your magic is not quite as strong as you wish, and you just don't look quite as dashing as you once might have.
They got new makeup
That fits.
Yeah,
you got a weird scab on your cheek that's always there. Like, what's up with that? I never understood that. Anyways.
I'm not down for it.
That's my diet.
Now I'm looking it up to see what he looks like.
I know, me
I
too.
never saw that one.
There's a
not
weird,
good. Don't watch it.
He's got a weird, always little scab here on his jawline.
So no, we were watching the second one, and it's kind of there, but like his hair and his hat and stuff always kind of covered it. So we're like, what's the point of even putting that makeup on your face?
I just don't know.
Pretty sure it's herpes.
It vexed me for like all 5 movies we watched. Anyway,
That's good.
Hondo transforms into this pirate captain. Fancily adorned, tall tri-corner hat, coat, and several scarves and trailing accoutrements. You're sticking with human and like dreadlocks, the whole 9, Jack Sparrow. Okay. Mm-hmm. You got it. Is Mary going with?
So I'm quietly asking to the rest of the group if I should go with him or if we're good.
It'll just be easier for myself if you're going to just do the whole thing together. But if you wish not to, just let me know.
It's up to you.
Hondo now has an hour ticking clock of disguising.
I can make you invisible if you want to go in.
Does that also last an hour?
Yes. Wait. Yes.
You have both, right?
I only think I have the one.
Ooh, you dropped regular invisibility?
Just to swap it.
I thought greater was only 10 minutes.
Yeah, so I only have the second. Do you want it, Mary? Like, do you want to go in with him?
Well, if it's only 10 minutes, what the fuck
No,
is
it's
that
an hour.
gonna...
This one's an hour.
Oh, okay.
So wait, you dropped greater? Sorry? Oh.
Did this a while ago.
Yeah. No, that's just me. I'm just curious.
Okay.
I remember you doing it. I thought you did the opposite.
I like to roll a dice.
No, that's fine. I just thought it was the opposite for some reason. I don't give a shit. You do you.
I start putting my hand on Mary's shoulder. Do you want to go with him?
At least I can keep an eye on him, Hondo. I'll try to get information to you if someone looks suspicious. I can tell if people think you're sketchy and not, who you say you are, so that might be helpful. I'll follow your lead, though, because you won't be able to see me.
I cast invisibility on you.
Okay.
Second
I'll just follow Hondo wherever he's planning on going.
I cast it, lean in, and I'm like, leave him if it gets bad. And I give a little wink, even though I can't see you anymore. And then, all right, you're not pirate twins, you're stealth twins. Do it up.
Well, Hondo's not really even stealthy. He's just a pirate now. So I assume you are going to try to stealth your way towards it, though.
So just so I'm clear with everyone, I'm going to be sneaking onto ships and just looking to see if there's anything suspicious, or am I supposed to be talking to people?
You guys are up in the chateau, so the ships are down a cliff, down in the water. This is probably like 150, 200 feet up, away from like cliff, chateau up here, cliff, water down here with the ships.
I think this is just trying to like fit in and get an idea of who's all around. Like pretend you're doing grunt work, or pretend you have to get a message for somebody. I don't know.
Find
Try
Quinn.
to just blend in and see if we can find out where this Quinn dude is.
Your mission, try and find Quinn, get eyes on him, get a lay of the land. How many guards are there? What's the security like? Are they all wasted? Is there any way we could sneak in, stealthily grab him and go? Is Gambino there? That kind of shit.
So this is like a go out and then report back, right? That's what our plan is?
Are there any doors I could not kick in? That kind of stuff.
All right.
I thought you were going to be like, just to clarify, I'm fifth movie Johnny Depp. Captain Hicks.
Okay. So Hondo, are you gonna just walk right up to the chateau, or are you trying to stealth and creep your way towards?
Oh, creep.
Okay, so then both of you make stealth checks, both at advantage. Hondo, you always have advantage, and Mary, you are now invisible, giving you advantage.
Let's go.
Ooh, look at that. Ooh, you have advantage. That's a 5.
I only rolled an 18, which is low.
Yeah, that's not great for you.
So my stealth is, I rolled a 12 and I'm plus 15, so 27.
Okay. The two of you begin to make your way towards the chateau, keeping to along the edges of the remaining buildings that lead up this kind of main road. And it's not like it's the at the end of the road, this structure is the last one there, but it is one of the last. And you are able both to keep very quiet and kind of creeping along. Hondo, though, you've noticed either Mary is kind of tripping over some stuff, but you can hear the shifting of her plate. It's not incredibly loud, but you do notice that she's not entirely as quiet as you are. But nonetheless, kind of gestures towards Mary, you do note that Hondo looks right towards where you're invisibly at, and he catches and kind of gestures to you to be quiet, knowing that you are not quite as quiet as you had hoped. But nonetheless, you guys get to the edge and get close enough to get a good view of where this kind of like walkway leads up to the edge of the chateau. And you imagine there would have been a beautiful archway gate to allow you into this kind of chateau area. But you can see the remnants of like the feet of the archway still remain, but the upper archway has broken in and been cleared away, but you still see some giant chunks of rubble. The western wall that faces you is completely blown in, and you can see within a small kind of what looks like a potential dining area. You see a couple of tables have been set up. Close to you on the northwestern corner, you see most of a turret tower still standing, about 15, 20 feet tall, roof still intact. And you see the, let me get the actual picture so I know exactly what I'm saying. You see the full structure from the edge of this tower, this kind of turret tower, to the furthest point where this tallest spire stands, is roughly like 80, 90 feet long. But you can see that this whole kind of western side has taken the brunt of the damage. The interior seems relatively intact, and the kind of eastern and southern edges all seem like they're still pretty well intact, but this whole western side is more or less open to the elements and the undead and yourselves. You want to try and move around? Do you want to try and move within this western side, or make your way north or south?
I was going to say, should I do an investigation check for any like hidden tunnels or?
Sure. You can, I would say from here you don't see anything.
Okay.
I will also say, sorry, before we go to this, you do see kind of walking around in a somewhat controlled perimeter march, you see for the first time these automatons that Valentine has spoken of. They look humanoid. 2 legs, 2 arms, regular chest and head, as if a human had been completely plastered in skin-tight metal. Almost blank eyes, but like eye holes. You don't see a mouth necessarily. You don't see them holding any weaponry. They just are walking, and 4 at a time. You watch as like a patrol of 4 makes their way from inside out through this broken western wall, down across where the archway once stood, and then they kind of disappear around the southwestern edge and continue on to the east and out of sight. But you can see another kind of patrol a little further coming around, essentially on the opposite side as you guys watch. You can hear as well the sounds of some very vague kind of murmurs of discussion inside, and some very faint music, like a faint kind of violin or lyre potentially. But that's what you gather. Now, if you wish to look for secret tunnels and passages, Hondo?
Yep.
Okay. I would say from this vantage, you don't see anything and there's no point in rolling. However, if you want to check the north or south, kind of the southern coastline, or around the north edge of like kind of the hilltop that you're here, you can go north or south.
I'll go north.
Okay. Mary, do you follow Hondo's lead?
Yeah, I'm just going to follow Hondo wherever he goes.
Okay.
And I'm just going to keeping an eye out for other people.
Mm-hmm. Hondo, that's investigation is a very high roll, natural 19. Mary, make a perception check as well, as you guys make
Good
your
job,
way.
Hondo.
It kind of keeping your stealth rolls from previously, just around the north edge. I'd say you are about we'll say 30 feet from the actual edge of the chateau as you make your way kind of down this hillside, kind of keeping in like a gully, like a culvert kind of running alongside the main road. And you look around, and Hondo, you do see actually there is like not a secret tunnel, but there is a tunnel, but it would be one for like water drainage, potentially sewage drainage, from inside the castle that kind of creeps out to this point here, about almost towards the furthest east point of the castle, almost on like the northeast corner, about 30 feet away from the castle. You see this little tunnel here, so you do have an idea, but you very quickly gauge kind of smells. It's probably not super nice.
I do look at
its purpose though.
I do whisper, not like intending to talk to Mary, but not actually looking at her. I'd be like, "We could always go through that tunnel, or you could."
You first, ma'am.
Mary, what was your perception as well?
It was a 24.
Okay. Following Hondo, the two of you kind of making your way along, you are kind of passing in this kind of culvert, kind of ditch, as the second kind of patrol of another 4 of these armored soldiers make their way. And you notice that 2 of them break off of the patrol and start kind of looking in your direction, roughly, but don't have a bead. However, what they do instead is they hold position at the northwestern corner of the chateau, and they don't continue walking, but 2 more leave. But these 2 hold this kind of northwestern corner. You guys have now made your way to the northeastern corner, so you're still a fair ways away, but you note that they've now held position at this corner. You also see through open windows that have no glass, just open arched windows. Inside, you can make out probably about, so far, a half dozen figures of different kind of, they look piratey. They're wearing kind of the piratey garb, and there's no identifying marks from this distance, but you can see so far you've seen at least 6 individuals inside.
Do any of them look quite as ostentatious as Hondo's?
I would no. None of them look quite as ostentatious as Jack Sparrow. They all look more like Gibbs, honestly. There's more of a Gibbs vibe going on inside. Although younger. Gibbs is kind of old. These guys are kind of younger. Like Scott, if Scott were Gibbs's clothes.
Okay.
I say, Mary, should we sneak to where those pirates are?
We don't know where those hosts are. Maybe just pick up a random barrel or something. Pretend you're doing busy work. I don't know.
Do I look like someone who's doing busy work?
You kind of, don't you want to blend in right now?
All right.
Also, you look like you're a crazy person talking to yourself. Either play into that, or maybe we should stop.
Okay, I'll take the barrel. I'll go in.
Pretend you're drunk talking to yourself.
That was just a suggestion Mary said.
I'll find something. I'll do an investigation check for something that would look like I could carry into this shell.
Throw an investigation check.
All right.
Let's see what you can spy with your little eye. 11 on the die.
I think
Plus
my
investigation.
11. Yep, 22.
Okay. I would say, yeah, you can see, now that you're on this northeastern corner, you can see along the eastern wall, there's kind of another turret, and you can see another one further in. And you can see, as you kind of look and creep a little closer, you can see on the southeastern corner, this other southeastern turret that's close to the coast, you do see kind of a stack of crates and barrels that are kind of generally piled around there. You do spy something that you could potentially go and grab and make it look like you belong.
I'll do it.
Okay. Mary, you following again?
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to need a secondary stealth check from both of you as you guys get actually within range of the castle itself, the chateau. So both with advantage. Hondo, it's...
Yes.
26.
26, and we'll keep that 18, I think.
Yeah, we'll leave this and get rid of the 6.
It's like 33 or something. A lot.
I message back and I say, I'm going in, guys.
Just kind of to all channels?
On the
What did you say to all channels?
I'm going in.
Okay.
Mary,
where are we? Are we just like off the side of the road, kind of just waiting?
You guys are still hiding within that first kind of castle, other like house.
Perfect.
That is run down, broken, and probably maybe you're a couple hundred feet from the chateau itself. You're several hundred feet, keeping stealth yourselves, and so far, none of you have noticed. You have seen the patrols, at least Valentine and Gord. You guys have the highest passive perceptions. You would have seen the patrols. You lost sight of Mary and Hondo, which is a good thing. But that's it so far.
I'll message back to them and I'll be like, if anyone wants to keep watch of the chateau, come a bit closer, you're welcome.
Question.
Is he saying you're welcome, like thank you, or you're welcome, like you should do?
Man.
I don't know. I don't know what he just said. I can't hear him.
It's true.
We'll keep it in mind. You're doing great so far, sweetie.
The group holds their position with Celine and Lavender just kind of piecing together the bits of conversation without the actual other side. And holding position as Celine just kind of looks over the rest of your group. This is another question that I forgot to ask earlier. Did you guys bring Keith along?
Such a good question.
I was going to naturally assume he would have just come with me, but I guess he's not stealthy.
This is why I asked.
You could chuck him in a building on the way somewhere. Tell him to be a good boy and wait.
And just wait.
So he's not.
Oh no!
I don't know. It's up to you, Allie. There's nowhere safe to leave him.
Knowing her though, she would take her with her, him with her because she's all like, I don't want to lose him again. I'm just gonna lose him that way. He's with me.
Okay.
I think that's the play. That's the right
That's a
play.
Yeah, that's what she would do.
He can get inside this chateau with you, and he's doing his best to keep quiet.
His bell is muffled from last time.
From the
I do
last
have
night.
that little cloth that's like shoved in there to keep him quiet.
It wasn't his fault last time. He
It
was
wasn't
good.
his fault. Yeah, he was a
It
good
was shockingly good.
He was a good boy.
Thus far, you guys are less concerned about stealth at this distance. It would be as you move closer, or if something moves towards you. But for the time being, those of you hiding are safe. It is Hondo and Mary who edge closer and closer to danger. As Hondo, leading Mary quickly following behind, you do begin to notice as you get to these barrels. One, you notice the barrels are all assorted liquor and wine. The crates are you're not sure. They're nailed shut crates. You can't. There's no markings. But they're stacked here. You see about maybe 4 or 5 crates, but there are more of an abundance of barrels that have been stoppered shut, and you can smell. And is seeped through to the ground and has made this whole round area in like a 10-foot radius around these barrels quite sloshy and wet. And you find that Hondo is leaving footprints, and Mary, you would as well if you were to kind of follow in his footsteps. As Hondo, you grab one of these to try and fit in.
I grab. Yep.
Okay. Make a strength check.
Okay.
Never seen you carry a big barrel before. Okay.
5 and
Just straight strength.
strength is. Am I looking at the?
Just your
yeah,
modifier.
3. So 8.
8. So Mary, you watch as Hondo stoops down and begins to try and pick up this barrel, and you definitely underestimated how heavy a full barrel of liquor or wine is. It is surprisingly heavy, and where you reach down into the ground to try and get your handhold, it's now all mucky and covered in liquor, and your hand slips and the barrel and cracks and begins to kind of seep some liquor out. Thus far, no one has noticed, because you guys had rolled very high stealth before. 1 barrel is busted, but easy enough. You're able to hoist another barrel. It's just not quite as easy as you thought, and Mary just watches you kind of struggle for a moment. But nonetheless, you are able to hoist a barrel up and able to walk forward. And like if you were to go around this turret, you would see what is to the south. You can hear the sounds of kind of people talking, and the music does get stronger at this corner.
I'm enjoying watching the struggle. Probably a little too much.
Honda, you make your way around the corner?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. As you turn the corner, you can see the edge of like the coastline looking off into the sea beyond. And today is a far less foggy and dull day. Though not bright, shiny, and sunny, it's still kind of overcast. But you get a beautiful sight, both of you, of the shattered coastline, this kind of dark, jaggedy rock, and these you're about maybe 15 feet from the edge of the cliff, maybe 20 feet from the edge of the cliff, but you can look outward and you can see just the beauty of the sea beyond, and the wind kind of cresting, causing waves to crest with the little white caps. And you do see a single spire that has a fire burning within as a beacon or lighthouse, maybe a couple hundred feet offshore. You see that as you turn to your right and come into, there's 2 split paths of cobblestone that lead within an open courtyard on the opposite side of like this archway that still remains. You make your way around the corner, and as you kind of turn the corner and see this archway to your right and the courtyard inside to your right, you see the first 4 of the Warforged soldiers make their way towards you. For the first time, you are faced with, does my disguise hold up and does my invisibility hold? And these Warforged pass by with no No mention, no nod, no stop. They just continue walking right past you and make their way around where you just were picking up that barrel and out towards the north from there. So you guys are at the courtyard. You can either continue and see the full extent of the castle to the southwest corner, or look within the courtyard.
I'll see the full castle extent.
Okay. Carrying the barrel, you make your way down along kind of adjacent to the coastline and head to this southwestern corner. And you see what looked like, as you get close, a full turret. As you get to the edge, you see it has completely been broken away, and you just see, like, you can see right within this turret, and it opens up, and it actually, you're now at the western wall, and this whole western section is completely open and destroyed to the elements. But what it does grant you, as you kind of come to the edge of it, you can see through and into the main interior of the kind of western side of this castle. You see this. There's one large room where you can see, where you saw previously, there's a large room of like dining tables. There's a bunch of tables, and you can see a couple of pirates sat at the table drinking. They have large wooden steins and are kind of chatting and hanging out at these tables. You can see them slowly picking away at a bowl of some kind of stew or porridge, perhaps. But you can see there's four of them at these handful of tables. You can see some of them, Mary, you definitely get the insight that they are hungover as shit. They're hurting, heads are pounding, but you can see they're nursing it with more booze and potentially a hearty stew. Honda, you also see past them another wider, larger, more ornately decorated room. You can see heavy curtains kind of decorate along the walls, kind of obscuring the few windows that are here, though it is currently open onto the rest of this kind of inner chateau and towards this dining area, in which you see this very large bed, like a king-size bed, sat in the middle of it, and you can see two figures kind of lounging within the bed. One of them, porcelain of skin and dark of hair, vaguely reminiscent of Syrah, though you can't quite make out the full depiction of her, as these kind of deep, like crushed red velvet sheets kind of cover most of her form. And there's another figure there, though very difficult to make out from this distance.
Am I, like, right now, am I like no one will see me type thing, or are there people that could see me?
There are the four pirates who are kind of eating and drinking at the tables. They could see you if you know, you made a scene, or if you started walking further, like towards the north or inside, they would see you for sure. But so far, that's all you've seen.
So I want to like turn away and just be like, to the ear, I'll be like, I could see in the castle, and I think I see Syrah, and
if you want a good vantage point of inside the castle, come to the western edge.
Kyle, we haven't seen anything resembling in the distance, like masts or anything like how we knew we were.
You haven't seen anything. You haven't seen anything yet.
Okay.
So far, you have mapped the entire exterior of the castle, and you've now mapped kind of two of the larger section of the western half. You have yet to look anything within kind of the eastern quarter that is more or less fully still standing, and the courtyard as well.
Does the earring work that far? Can we hear that latest thing from Hondo?
Yeah, I think we've established you can reach that far.
Okay.
Because you're not super far away. You're a couple hundred feet, but I think we've allowed up to a mile. Rough, or maybe not a mile, but a fair ways.
Sorry, go Hondo.
Really, go ahead.
I was going to say I would tell Lavender and Celine you said that, but I still feel hesitant to approach.
Yeah, definitely not a mile.
I don't
A
tell
mile
you
is
that,
5,000 feet. That's way too many feet.
I think it was 500 feet you originally said.
Yeah,
maybe that's just Dimension Door I was taking that from, but yeah.
No, let's still, from now on it'll be 500 feet because a mile is 5,000.
That's a
I
lot.
mumbled to myself, but I'm talking to Mary. I'm like,
I'm gonna go in.
Go in there. We still haven't found our dude.
We'll also point out, in the time it's taking you to get around to this point, you're at about 20, 25 minutes. Just to slow. Gone. So you still have 35 to 40 minutes left of your spell.
Okay.
Respectively. So, what's the plan? What are you doing?
Okay, I'm gonna walk. Like, I've seen a good. Like, if I keep walking a bit more, would I see a bit more? Like, or if I get close, I can get a bit closer. Like,
at this point, you could walk north along the western wall, and you could potentially get a little bit of a better vantage point to a full. What's fully in there, you could probably get a better view of who the two are in the bed. And as you would reach where the arch is, you would see within the courtyard as well.
I'll do it.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that I wouldn't be surprised if the courtyard is where those posts are, but I could be wrong.
You do remember from Valentine's scry, it did sound like they were in an open courtyard area.
It was like outdoors looking.
Yeah, but it's
Gotcha.
surrounded by walls, so you would have the idea that it is kind of an interior courtyard of some kind. And Hondo, as you and Mary make your way out, you both see the two armored soldiers holding position, and I'm going to need both of you to make stealth checks, as the two are now kind of, the two that had noticed earlier something was fishy, are watching at the corner.
30. Oh, Hondo. At advantage.
H.
At advantage. You always have advantage on
Thank
stealth.
God. Better.
So my stealth, I think, is 15. I want to say. Yes, 15.
Yeah.
So 30.
Keeping quiet, the two of you, though Hondo needing to less be quiet, but more casually, just like you belong, but still keeping quiet in your footsteps. You both kind of duck within ever so slightly inside the rubble of the western wall and almost into where the archway would stand, and kind of holding a corner here. You do get a better vantage point within. Hondo, make a perception check, and Mary, you can do the same. Okay, 13 on the die for Kev.
And 11 is it perception?
11 or 12, I think.
12, so 25.
Yeah, mine's not even close.
Okay. Mary, you're keeping your eyes towards the Warforged to make sure that they do not kind of spy you, as Hondo takes his kind of corner position, still holding the barrel, which is starting to wear on your shoulder and your arms, just starting to grow a little tired. But you look inside, and you do see now, both awake and kind of having a little roll in the sheets, you see Gambino and Syrah both in the ostentatious bed, kind of just open to like anyone, which is just kind of weird, but you also kind of respect it. But you see the two of them, you see the four pirates close by. You can hear the other four Warforged are making their way around, almost at this northwestern corner where you're about midwest here. And you look within through the archway here, and now at a full view of the courtyard. And the courtyard you look and see is roughly maybe 45, 50 feet square. In the center, you see what once was a fountain now has been broken away, and you can just see the remnants of a bonfire. You see smoke just kind of drifting lazily out of the middle of this once rather large fountain area, but would fit very well with where a bonfire would be built each night, or at least in the scry the night previous. But directly on the opposite side of that, against the eastern wall, you see three masts just embedded into the ground and broken off at the top. They stand about 15 feet in height, but kind of stuck within the ground or leaned against the eastern wall. One of them sits a little further out. The other two sit almost in a V. At the closest in the middle, you see strung up with arms tied kind of back behind and held up about 5 feet off the ground and strung with rope all around. You see what looks like a half-elf of kind of light brownish skin, faintly freckled along the cheeks, head kind of lulled down and off to the side a little. You can tell He is alive and breathing, though you can see extensive cuts across his chest, some still faintly bleeding, but you can see some are starting to kind of scab over, and you just see kind of about maybe 15, 16 rather long, several inch long cuts. You see to his right, to your left, the back left, you see another individual, rusty skin of a kind of tiefling figure. This rusty red skin, also shirtless, and you can see a similar maybe 17, 18 cuts along that look like they've dried more. They seem less fresh, but you do see they don't look good, and some of them are rather wide. You can see the black gnarled horns curl up and over the skull, and they come back and kind of spin back around like almost like Keith's horns, and kind of coming to a point beside his eyes, or rather beside his eyes where the bloody sockets in which his eyes should be. They seem to have been surgically removed, and not by a caring hand. You can just see deep, scarred, kind of scabbed sockets of eyes. You can also tell that this figure is faintly breathing, shallow, and miraculously still alive. However, on the opposite side, you see a figure strung up in the same way as the other two, however, only half of one, as the upper half remains, but the lower half, you just see viscera and intestines hanging loose, dried and buzzing with flies. You see this kind of pale human woman with kind of stringy, graying brown hair, who is most certainly dead and has been for some time.
Okay. So I tell Mary, do you think you can get to him, Gwyn?
More question of, will they see me when I try to bamf him out of here? Is there any, sorry, from our vantage point, Kyle, can we see the Warforged up on the walls?
You can see, at this point, you now see 4 coming around the corner and headed in your direct direction. And 2 are still holding position at the northwestern corner. At this point as well, from your vantage into the courtyard, you do see 2 on an upper wall overlooking the courtyard as well.
Okay. And so we're facing south?
You are looking eastward into this courtyard from this direction.
And from where we are, what direction would the rest of the Wildcards be?
They would be northwest by about 300, 400 feet.
So we're looking, sorry, I have to orient myself.
No, that's fine.
Okay.
It's a lot of, you did a whole circle around, it's a whole thing.
We're looking east. They'd be northwest, so they'd be just over 90 degrees from us. Okay. Yeah. I'd say I feel like if we were going to get him out of here, we'd need a distraction. Something to draw the eye so that people don't see where we take him, because I'll be visible the second I try to get him out of there. I'll be visible, sorry, the second I try to get him out of there. Sorry, did you mention that you found him on the earring, or no? To
I haven't said anything. I just asked you.
Yeah, he's just talking to you so far.
Yeah, I am not using the earring specifically. I am only talking to Hondo because that would be casting a spell and then my invisibility is going to drop. So I can't say anything over the earring.
Yep, you're leaving full in Hondo.
If I'm answering back, is that casting a spell or is that part of the initial spell?
No, I think message, you can respond to this message. So yeah, you can, without casting a spell, you're responding to a spell, but you're not actually doing it.
Okay. I'll say, should we let our friends know that we found our quarry? Because I can't do that without everyone seeing me. How much time has it been now, Kyle?
This has been another couple of minutes. You guys are looking into the 30-minute range. You're about half of your spells are done. You also notice as you guys are having this quiet debate, the 4 Warforged walk past with no questions, no head turns. Your invisibility and disguise have held. But you also notice 2 new figures walking into the kind of courtyard. 2 very odd figures. One, green-skinned, tall, pointed ears, like tight dreadlocks that roll back down the head. Very tall, very lithe, like 7.5 feet tall, incredibly skinny, and kind of mottled green skin of a couple of different hues in like little patches. Wearing a set of like heavy-looking chainmail and this large, long sword strapped to the back, and you see another at the hip. He's carrying a tankard. And yeah, you can see this face is very long, elongated, very gaunt and thin. You see no nose, just 2 thin slits where a nose would be. And almost, you can't quite make out the eyes, but they're a little larger than you would anticipate as well. It's a very alien-looking creature. And beside him, there's a skeleton. Man, it's just like a skeleton dude, just walking along with him, like having a chat with him. He's wearing kind of tattered bluish clothing, and this kind of jaunty little pirate hat. And he has a cup as well, and he's taking a swig, and it just splashes through open ribs. Very odd pair. You see the 2 of them take kind of a seat against a picnic table, kind of within the courtyard.
They'd definitely see us if we tried to get something.
Do you think you can get to him and get out of here?
Not without being seen.
Well, you'd be seen, but if you teleport or something, you'd be gone.
Yeah, and then they're going to come looking for us right away. But if there's a way that we can cause a scene, or potentially distract some peeps, like maybe trying to pick a fight with some random big dude with a sword. This seems like a terrible idea. I don't know. I'll leave that up to you. I can get him out of here, but I will be seen. So it's a question of how do we stop people from seeing me, and maybe I'll leave that up to you. Or we go back to our friends and try to figure out a better plan.
Do you want me to blow up the place? Okay. I can't.
Sorry, this is a quick question. Sorry to interrupt, but what are both of your passive perceptions?
Mine's no good. Mine's 16.
My passive is...
Honda's is pretty high.
22, I think.
Honda, you notice as you 2 are having this very quiet discussion, keeping yourselves... Honda, you're still kind of like not quite out in the open, standing under the sun and just open. You're still kind of hidden around a corner, but you are visible. Like you're maintaining a persona of someone who belongs, but just trying to keep in the shadows. Mary obviously is invisible. But Honda, you notice as you're having this discussion, the 2 figures in the bed, presumably Gambino and Syrah, begin to wake up and leave the bed and just make their way out of sight, like further within the castle to the east.
Okay. I tell Mary, okay, I'm going to cast a fog cloud. You got to be quick.
Fuck. Over where the dude is?
Yep.
Oh, this is a terrible idea.
We got to be quick.
Well, wait until I'm... Fuck, how long is it going to take me to get there? Like, give me... Count to 30.
Well, hold on. I mean...
It's a really bad idea.
Count to 30, sure. If you're going to stealth there, that's a different story.
Yeah, I don't know how far away it is. That's why I was asking, like... how long it would take me to get there sneaky?
From this position... Roughly about 60 feet. 70 feet. So... you can get there in a single round if you fucking run. But it would be very obvious. It would be very loud. It's full on sprinting into a room until you're invisible.
Yeah, no, that's what...
To stealth in, it would be at half speed.
Oh God.
So I say stealth in. When you're about 20 feet away, I will cast the cloud.
Hondo, what if this goes to shit? We're not prepared. Our friends aren't prepared.
We gotta take a chance, okay? We can't just sit around here.
Okay. This is I can't do shit, Scott. I can't call you.
No interfering, no metagaming.
Do you want to read the newspaper or do you want to be in the newspaper?
I would love to never be in
Good
a
line.
newspaper ever.
Good
No one
line.
ever needs to know who I am. I'm good. Don't need anyone to know me. Let's just give our friends at least a heads up because I cannot do that because I need to stay invisible.
Start
Before you
walking.
continue,
I'll
and both of you make another stealth check. This time not at advantage because you've now made a kind of a whole point of talking a lot. So straight rolls.
Oh gosh.
Single
I
roll.
rolled well, so that's okay.
Good. You are invisible. Hondo, not bad. You still add like a lot.
So it's 22.
Okay. Mary?
29 for me.
Okay. Still pretty good. Both of you are managing to keep your voices down despite having a rash discussion.
Mary, start walking now. I'll tell them the plan, but let's get going.
I'm gonna at least, I'll sneak closer to him, and I at least want to see what we're up against in terms of how this guy's situated, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll start sneaking up towards the poles.
And I just message back now. Okay, guys, we're taking action. I'm gonna cast a fog cloud. Mary will sneak in, zap him out, and we're out.
Okay. Mary, keeping the stealth that you just rolled, that's fair. You begin walking in, right?
I want to get a look at him first.
I mean, you have a look at him from where you are.
I mean, what the restraints look like, how long it's going to take me to get him out of this shit,
Mhm.
how much attention specific people are paying attention to him. This is a terrible plan, but...
I mean, it hasn't happened yet, so.
Can I start doing a couple things?
Potentially, sure.
I'm just taking the carpet out of the bag, going
Yeah.
like, fuck, and then I'm just gonna relay what they said, and I'll just radio and be like, if you need a distraction, just tell me.
Wait, sorry, I missed you. You radioed to Val saying you're moving in?
I radioed them and I just said, we're taking action, we're casting the fog cloud, and Mary's going to zap him out.
Okay. I'm just reading something.
So, Mary, like trying to.
I love it.
Okay.
I'll tell you, like, give me at least 1 minute before you do it. Because I
Okay.
want to be able to,
So I'm counting the clock right now. You're on the clock.
Okay.
Oh boy, oh boy.
Okay.
I love when a pure reconnaissance plan.
This is
The rescue plan.
it's terrible. But I mean, people are waking up. If we don't act now, we might have to end up.
Look, you decide, dude with
interacting so
no
many more
eyes. Dude with no eyes, guy with no bottom half. You should probably get this guy out of here.
people. I'm very scared for Quinn.
Mary, you begin to make your way very quietly and picking your steps very carefully as there's a bunch of rubble and dust and ash that litter the floor of this cobblestone kind of courtyard. You also will have to pass by the skeleton and alien-looking man within probably about 10 feet of them as you make your way. But you're pretty stealthy. It's probably going to be fine. And you begin to start slowly picking your way across the courtyard. As you leave the cover of the western kind of wall and you kind of break into the full courtyard where you can see into your left side now it is open. The walls are now gone. You can see with towards the left. You see both Syrah and Gambino are kind of leaning in an archway, looking out into the courtyard, having a quiet conversation. At the northwestern corner of this courtyard area, they're just kind of standing there. You notice the two Warforged above, just kind of scanning the area. You'd also notice Now a couple of other pirates have kind of made their way in towards where the first two guys are sitting. The Githyanki and the Skeleton Man. Two other pirates come and sit at the same table with them, carrying mugs, and they begin to kind of chat as one of them is kind of playing this little fiddle and kind of livening up the morning or afternoon with some music. You begin to slowly pick your way across this courtyard of immense danger. You move 15 feet. Make another stealth check.
Is this advantage or not?
Me, right?
No, Hondo, you're holding, as far as I know, you're holding position. Mary, this is at advantage. You're not talking or anything. You're invisible. You have advantage.
Good. First one was a natural 1. Second one was a natural 18, so it's the same roll as last time. 29.
Very quietly, very stealthily, very carefully, you pick your way across to the halfway point. You're now beside the southern point of the kind of bonfire, once fountain, now bonfire pit. You notice that Gambino is kind of putting kind of his clothes on. He's putting like this leather armor over, kind of like a leather tunic. You okay?
Choking to death.
Out of nowhere. And you see this kind of long rapier at his side, but he pulls out of a holster this odd weapon that I don't know that you've seen before. It looks like a hand crossbow, but minus the actual, like, both the string and the bow part of the crossbow. It seems to be just the barrel and like a handle, and you see 4 chambers close to the handle where there's this trigger. And he kind of does some fancy spinning with it, showing off for Sierra, who kind of just is kind of like giggling and laughing. And he quickly holsters it again. Make another stealth check. At advantage.
Okay. Natural 20 on the second roll.
Okay.
Ooh. First one was an 8.
That's big. That's big.
You get to about 15 feet from Quinn. And you can see you're definitely very close to the dead person who is missing their lower half. You can see all of them have been roped up along the torso, the midsection, like kind of along the abs and gut, has been very heavily tied, and both hands are tied and manacled behind, kind of held back behind around the post, the mast. You get close enough to see Quinn is breathing, not quite conscious, but breathing, alive, and has not sustained quite as much damage as this tiefling fellow. You notice the tiefling fellow, as his head is lolling off, even with your passive perception, now that you're close, on the neck right here, you see 3 triangular symbols that you've seen tattooed or branded on certain members of a certain cult group that you have battled this entire campaign. You notice that this is a member of the Vow in some capacity. You also notice that Gambino, Sierra, the alien dude, and the skeleton all begin to quietly stand and are looking in your direction.
Mm-hmm.
You can see Sierra has this faint kind of cocked head and smile. Gambino, you notice Gambino and the alien guy, the Githyanki, aren't looking at you, but they're looking in the direction, and eyes are kind of darting in all directions. But you notice that the skeleton, actually you don't notice it, he doesn't have eyes. The skeleton appears to be looking in your direction, but Sierra seems to be looking at you.
Yeah, I was afraid of this.
Well, time would have been up, so I'll cast the...
Time is not quite up to a minute.
Okay.
You said a minute?
Yeah.
This has only been 3 rounds for Mary, which is only 18 seconds. But Hondo, with your passive perception, you 100% notice the backs of Gambino. You don't quite see Sierra. The Githyanki and the skeleton have all stood and are facing inwards towards Mary and the 3 masts, as you are about 15-20 feet on the other side of them. Mary, what do you do? And Hondo, I suppose, if you do anything as well.
Can you reiterate on Quinn? Is he's manacled or tied or both?
Both. He is tied around the waist and ab section in like fully round. And then arms, now that you're close enough, you can see the 3 figures. Arms are either tied behind like this or up like this. And ropes are tied around kind of the forearm and kind of held back. And you see a set of manacles on either wrist.
But a sword could cut through all this.
Not manacles. That would need to be lock-picked, which is going to take time. And probably more than one action. Is Hondo doing anything? You said Hondo noticed that people were...
Hondo, you notice that everyone starts to like stand up and just kind of step towards, but like haven't done anything. Everyone's just kind of standing, but you know that they're in the direction that Mary was headed. They're looking in the direction Mary was headed, but they haven't done anything yet. Nobody's done anything. Everybody's just kind of standing.
I hold, because I know it's still early. You said it's only 18 or 20 seconds.
It's only been about 18-ish seconds. Actually, probably at this point, we'll say 24 seconds have passed because you started counting before she even started walking. So we'll give an extra round there.
I know Mary wanted the minute, and I'm looking intensely, but I'm not going to do anything yet.
Just holding the position. Okay. Mary?
I am going to keep walking past the guys who are all tied up.
Okay. They are about 10 feet from the wall.
Okay, so it's not like there could be a through path.
There is a full block eastern wall behind the 3 masts. So it would go mast, 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 wall, 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 open archway to the shore. And they are all kind of up along this edge. Does that make sense?
It does. Sorry, okay. I'm having a hard time picturing it, but I'm trying to draw it out in my book.
Yeah, let's draw it.
No, I think I got it. That last description helped. So there's nowhere for me to walk. But they definitely noticed me, and I can't do anything about telling other people, because then I'll be visible. Although it might not really matter at this point. Shit. I would try to hold for another round to see if anyone has any other reactions.
But do you have like piercing eye contact with Sierra right now?
I just want to watch them and try to get a better read on them, insight check wise, to see if, I don't know, I want to get a better read on them.
I don't know if this helps. Oh, it's backwards.
I love this.
No, it's not backwards. It's not backwards for us.
Oh, okay, good. Sweet.
Thanks for writing this all in reverse, Kyle. That was so impressive.
So, I didn't actually write where you are. You are still in line with the... So, Mary, this is the bonfire. Obviously, these are...
Scully, yeah.
Quinn is on the forward mast, and then there are the other 2 masts. The top one here would be the Revenant Vow fella, the tiefling, and this is the dead chick. Hondo, you're not quite that close. You're probably back another, like maybe a bit more here, but I ran out of paper. But you're hiding on this kind of corner here, looking in. And it's probably not quite as wide open as this, but that's what I get for just drawing on this paper. But for the you also, there's a picnic table with like 2 other guys.
And where are the Warforged?
Down there. So up on this wall here, they're up about 20 feet up on this edge wall here. And they don't seem to be watching as focused as the others are. They're just kind of gazing down, kind of just like almost, like a turret, just kind of looking in all directions. But you do notice, I will say, they have drawn back. Their hand kind of flips open and pulls back, and you see a thin kind of barrel point forward out of the hand. This thin tube. What are you doing?
Can I try to... I don't even know what I'm going to accomplish with it. But can I try to, like, insight check Sierra Gambino?
Well, you got to pick one.
I'll do Sierra because I'm more scared of her.
Sure.
I don't even know what I'm looking for. I'm just trying to get a bead on, like, if they're tense, if they're cocky, if, like, anything like that. If they're... Yeah. I actually rolled my minimum. I can never remember what it is, though. It's a 19. It's my minimum.
Okay. You look at Sierra, and you watch as the last round, for lack of a better word, last round as you have crept closer and closer towards Quinn, and they have started to kind of position themselves. Sierra kind of whispered down to Gambino, too quiet for you to quite make out. And the thing you notice is she especially, but collectively, they're calm, cool, and collected. They do not feel like they are not in control. They're very confident. But you notice Sierra looking to the skeleton.
Oh, I'm gonna. Well, if it's my turn.
Mary, unless you move, that is going to be the end of this round. We're kind of in a vague initiative roll. You're going to hold position?
I would say, yeah, if we're in an initiative, that would be my action, is to try to insight check them.
Yep.
I think I already moved.
It's not necessarily, like, we're kind of loosey. Like,
I know,
we didn't roll anything, but, like, things are happening, and there could be reactions to them, so, like, I'm kind of keeping it in this mood. Let's say that to the end of your turn, Hondo, if you want to try something.
Okay.
Do something. It's your turn.
I'm going to cast, and, but I'm not going to, like, jump out and, like, cast, like, it's all, like, they're not going to notice me is what I'm trying to say.
We'll see. But yeah, go ahead.
I'm casting Phantasmal Force. Okay, and wait, before I do it though, that's the one where I can disguise it as something, right?
So let me read the spell for you.
Yeah, maybe you should read it too, just to be sure that it's what you want it to be.
You craft an illusion that takes root in the mind of a creature you can see within range. The target must make an intelligence saving throw against your spell save DC. On a failed save, you create a phantasmal object, creature, or phenomena of some kind of your choice that is no larger than a 10-foot cube, so 10 by 10, that is perceivable only to the target for the duration, so it's only going to affect a single target. The spell has no effect on undead or constructs. The phantasm includes sound, temperature, and other stimuli that would make it feel real. Target can use its action to examine the phantasm with intelligence investigation check against your spell save DC. If the check succeeds, they realize it's an illusion and the spell stops. While they're affected by the spell, they treat the thing you create, whatever it is, they treat it as if it's real. The target rationalizes any illogical outcomes from interacting with it. If it, they give a bunch of examples, but in theory, You can also deal 1d6 psychic damage to the target if it would cause damage. If you create a fire, in theory, you create a fire in this 10-foot cube that surrounds somebody, in theory, they believe it's fire. So they take a psychic damage, not fire damage. But if it makes sense that it would cause damage, you can make it happen. But the main salient points are it's only a single creature. They have to make an intelligence save. It can't be anything extravagant. It has to fit within a 10 by 10 cube.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Won't work on the skeletons or the robots because they can't.
So what I'm thinking is,
I would also say, sorry, you don't see Syrah from right here. She's just tucked in a little bit, but you see Gambino, the Gith, and the skeleton. And the two pirates, and Quinn and Mary. Oh, you don't see Mary.
if Gambino saw it, he would and reacted somehow. That would draw, like Syrah she wouldn't be able to see it if she turned around, but she would know that he's been what I'm saying is, if he's distracted, it could distract her too.
Potentially, or it could alert her that something else is going on.
It's a fair assumption. We'll have to just see how it plays out. You would think that she would react to try and protect him or figure out what's wrong with him and lose focus on Mary, but maybe not. We'll have to see.
Okay, so I'm gonna here's the thing. Question before I do this: if I cast it and they react to it, I can't a cloud in the same move.
No, it would be 2 different rounds, and both of those are concentration spells. So if you cast one and then you cast the other, it loses the first.
Okay.
But also let peeps know what's going on, if that's what you're wanting.
Well, that is an action.
Right.
Apparently Scott is on the way, or Valentine is on the way.
No, he's
not on the way. He's preparing the carpet.
Oh, okay.
That's not even at the
carpet can't
table
go
right
very
now.
fast. They are multiple hundreds of feet away. So even if we told them now, it's going to take them a while.
It'll take.
All I know is you said you were going to zap. You were like, we're going to do something, we're going to zap. And I was like, well, this could go bad.
By the carpet speed, it will take them 10 rounds to get here.
Ooh.
10. Let's count it.
Is that right? Yeah. 40
feet
times 10. Yeah.
And you can't dash with the carpet?
It's got a single speed. It's an item. Just puttering along. So, Hondo, to you. What are you doing?
Because it's one. If you cast one, the other would drop type thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think then that the fog cloud is more important, so I'll hold.
Okay.
Love this stalemate so much. This is so funny.
This is so stressful. I don't know what to do.
No, I like how this is played out. You guys played this incredibly well, like stealth-wise. It took some stuff on their end to. It just, I can't say anything. So let's see what happens. Mary, we come back to you as the 4 of these figures, plus the 2 pirates who are just kind of drinking, not paying attention to what's happening here. You notice the Gith kind of puts a hand to the sword, doesn't draw, just kind of hand on sword, but doesn't seem to have eyes on you. The skeleton figure doesn't have eyes, so it's hard to tell exactly where he's looking. You just see this kind of eyeless figure. You can see these faint like points of light. Like there's a bluish kind of gray-blue light within, but there's no pupil to like get. Like he's looking right at me, but he's looking in your direction. And you do see this kind of smile creep across his face, and Syrah as well, but Syrah's always kind of half cocky smiling.
Can a skeleton smile? Is it like a cartoon skeleton where the bones are all like...
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's weird. I liked him. I thought he was cool before, but now it's just creepy.
I still like him.
He's still really, really like animated.
Oh.
And you notice the skeleton not breaking eye contact, for lack of a better word, says, "Captain, orders." And Gambino calls out and says, "Well, it looks like we have some visitors. Why don't you show yourself? Let's make this easy." You see his hand kind of go to his hip, where he's got this weapon of some kind. Hondo, you hear Gambino's voice ring out as the rest just kind of hole.
I can't do anything though, right? It's not my turn.
It is not your turn. It is Mary's turn.
Oh God, I'm so lost. Oh, fuck. Sorry,
I love this shit.
I'm just trying to think.
Think of it like this. Mary, you go to bullet time. You slow the world down as you look at your options. Everything, all of your tactical mind goes into hyperdrive as you see insurmountable odds on your own. Your only close ally is Hondo, and he's a fucking wild card. You can't alert the rest of your party without revealing yourself. You could try and get to your target, but they seemingly already know you're here and something's there. All of these options flare before you, and you do what?
Can you just clarify? I'm pretty sure what Scott kind of mentioned is you can't use Dimension Door on something that is tethered, because in theory you have to walk through a door and pull them with you, right?
So it is Dimension Door. There's not so much a literal door. Scott likes to kind of flavor that there's a door and you go through the door. But really it's just a teleport. You're not sure. You're not an arcane caster. You're not sure that the binds would stop him from being a willing target, as he is not of his own volition being able to go along. Perhaps it could be like a Harry Potter splinching situation where not all of him comes with you. Or it's not a part of him and the teleport goes and it's just rope. Why would rope beat magic? Or metal in that case. But legitimately, you're not a caster. You're not sure. Like, even without having you make a roll, that there's no way you could know. That seems fair to me.
Uh-huh. Can you, on the little map...
Yep.
Who is at which pole again, compared to where I'm standing?
Yeah.
Am I closer to dead chick or closer to tiefling?
You're technically like 10 feet closer to the dead chick than the tiefling. So, hang on. Dead. Teef. So yeah, you're there. You're technically closer to her, but you're not like far from any of them. You know, like you could get to any of them with your. Maybe you couldn't get to the tiefling stealthed, but you could get to any of them with your regular movement, with no issue.
What if I bonus action dash stealth? How does that work? That doesn't really work, does it?
Not really. It's kind of the whole point of like stealth.
Okay. I have a very dumb idea.
Love it. Here we go. Let's roll.
I'm going to get between, or at least walk closer to where Quinn is, but between him and the tiefling.
Okay. That would take your your full movement to get still within 5 feet of Quinn, but 10 feet of the tiefling.
Mm-hmm.
And make another stealth check for me at advantage.
Keep rolling. Oh, really bad. So it doesn't matter. I rolled a 1 and a 2.
Oh, that's the worst.
I know.
Well, there's only one way that goes worse.
That's hard to do.
Double ones.
Hard to do.
I rolled a 1 and a 2. So if I start walking and I'm not very stealthy, I'm just going to use my full move to get all the way over the tiefling.
Okay. So you do so because you make a couple of steps and you just stumble. As your brain is going in too many directions, you're focused solely, like keeping your eyes on 4 individuals at once. You stumble and there's a faint, like kind of kick of ash and dust that alerts them to where you are. And you see all 4 focus
that's fine.
On your position now in front of the tiefling.
Yep, or beside.
Your choice.
whatever. Let's do the side closer, so I'm at least on the side of where Quinn is.
You would be, like I say, 10 feet from Quinn now, but
Okay.
beside the tiefling.
Yep.
Okay.
And I'm taking out my sword and I'm stabbing the tiefling in the neck.
You're taking out your sword and stabbing the tiefling in the neck. Okay. You
My
absolutely
invisibility
hit.
will drop.
Your invisibility drops. You absolutely hit, and you just it doesn't matter which blade, but your blade just cuts straight through the entire trachea and jugular. Blood spews on both sides of the blade. As you draw it out, it just the tiefling is gurgling, but not for very long, and just goes limp. But you are now in full view, and Gambino says, "That wasn't that hard, was it? So, who the fuck are you? And what are you doing here?" You see he pulls this weapon out and aims it at you. You see Syrah kind of lean into him and whisper something in his ear. And you see just this wide grin creep across Gambino's face. It says, "Well, my day just got a whole lot better. I recommend you take a seat." You see the Githyanki draw out this sword. You see the skeleton fella kind of take a couple of steps in, and you just see like his hands kind of start glowing, as you've seen Valentine's do with energy at his fingertips. Syrah is just kind of twirling a blade within her hand. And you see the two Warforged atop just aim straight down with their like open palm weaponry, and they just wait to see what you do.
Few questions.
Anything?
Hondo, you definitely see. Yeah, this would come back to Hondo's turn. So in the initiative we're at, Hondo, you see Mary suddenly visible. You hear Gambino's everything I just said. You see everyone kind of begin to take more aggressive positions. You see Mary across the way. You see a tiefling now dying. Don't know if that matters to you.
I'm gonna message,
Okay.
but I'm also, to ensure that I'm absolutely not seen or like not suspicious. Maybe I'll have to roll a stealth again. I don't know, but I'm gonna message and just be like, "They've got Mary. They want to teleport here because it could get messy."
Okay. Make a stealth check, but at advantage.
And I haven't. That wasn't my action though, was it?
It's your action to cast message with the earring, so that is an action. But you're probably going to be totally fine stealthy. You are at least 29, still 29. You're pretty good. Very quietly, from the same position, you now use your action to cast message to the group at large. Mary also hears that. The only one, Celine and Lavender, do not quite catch that. But Valentine, Allie, you are alerted to Mary being caught, apparently.
Would they now be able to react to that?
Someone can respond.
Yeah.
It's kind of a group message. I've never really said how you can respond. In theory, everyone could respond. But once one person responds, I say that's the end of it.
What the fuck do you mean she's captured? Do you want us to burst in there raining hellfire? Please respond to this message.
Can I respond to that, or is it not my turn?
It is not your turn now.
Damn.
Said something when they like addressed me at first.
I would give you the shot now as you hear Hondo do that. They, he called for, sit down. We'll pull it back to you now as they are holding to see what happens.
I'll just point over to the tiefling. Say, "Why was this Revenant Vow fuck a friend of yours?"
I don't typically try to treat my friends by cutting their eyes out, but happened to a friend of every now and again I do something quite fucked up like that. But I don't really care that you killed him. I want to know what the fuck you're doing here and why you made your way in here in such a way. Who else you with?
Is this me responding or is this my turn? Okay. Sorry, I'm just trying to... I don't actually have an answer for that. Okay.
We're going to slowly start kind of breaking up the initiative play if it becomes more social. And in theory, playing out 10 rounds of everyone slowly flying in is going to be slow. So I'll just do a mental idea of how long this has happened. And Hondo, if you want to try something...
I can respond?
You can, I mean, this doesn't happen over the earring. You can take, if you want to keep it, take an action, just like let me know that you want to try something.
I want to respond on the earring though to Valentine.
Good.
That might be a good idea to ASAP.
That might be a good idea. Just to clarify, you said that might be a good idea to ASAP?
ASAP. As soon as possible. Come on.
Do you respond? Do you respond?
Do I get a free response here?
Mm-hmm.
All right. We'll start rushing towards you and like fighting if that's what you want us to do. We will start shooting fireballs and magic if that is what you want us to do.
Okay. Actually, wait, don't. Okay.
Nope. Now we're back to the party. You get your next action to try and clarify. As they begin, like it's still going to take like, this is now a round of getting on the carpet. Like you haven't left yet.
I have to even think if we want to do that, but yeah, keep going.
But like, yeah, like this would be mount up.
Getting outside.
Left the room.
Getting outside, yeah, exactly.
About to leave the room. Mary, the floor is yours to respond.
Fuck.
I picture you just staring at him.
Sorry, I'm sure she'd be better at picking up of something fast than I am.
Don't worry, we're all good. We're all good. Stick baby.
Just lying.
Think
Lying
what
is-
Hondo would do.
I know.
Would do that.
Oh, I'm a really bad liar, so I'm trying not to lie. But I mean, I'm not good at telling the truth either. My like persuasion and deception are the exact same. They're both only +1.
We had a couple dumb ideas off the top. Just go whatever you feel.
Don't think of the stats. Just try what makes sense in the moment. What would Mary say and do here? The dice will just do what the dice do.
She would not put herself in this situation.
She did though. I love this play though. You just killed an Eldrazi. You're like,
well,
fuck
not
this guy.
Eldrazi. There, it's fine.
Revenant Vow.
This Rev Vow guy.
As long as you say that was your mission to kill him.
Yeah, I know. That's kind of what I'm planning. But
Ooh, that's cool. I didn't even think of that shit.
I assume that's where this was going.
I would have invited him to dinner.
I just say, well, obviously I snuck in here. No friend of the Revenant Vow. Saw you had this fuck. Couldn't resist taking him out.
Well, that's all well and good. But you didn't come here for him. What'd you come here for? You can respond.
I know, I'm thinking.
I wasn't sure, like sometimes I'm not sure if we were like back to like the initiative, like I'm doing social a little looser now.
I know, I'm really bad at social, I'm sorry.
You're killing it, don't worry.
All good. This is all good. So far.
Admittedly, we were hoping to potentially strike a deal. We just wanted to see what the fuck we were getting ourselves into first.
Well, deals I can do. I prefer to do them when I can see my quarry. And
That was the plan. Again, couldn't help myself.
sure. You're not very good with the plans, though, clearly. He kind of gestures to his group, who are all now still holding position of action. Hondo, do you want to do anything?
I'm gonna now to Valentine. I'll say,
Get within eyesight, but do not come with guns a-blazing.
You can respond.
Elna just like pauses on the door and is like, what the fuck is going on? And then like pushes open the door and rolls out the carpet.
Okay. It says, so, are we to discuss a plan here, or?
Yeah, I have, obviously I'm not here alone. There's other people I'm here with.
I should fucking hope so.
I can get them at least on the same side. Like I said, we have something to ask of you. And potentially something to give in return.
Well, I like to hear that. And he goes to pull up a chair from the table, and he grabs the mug from one of the pirates and gestures the other, kind of give him a thumb out of his chair, and he kicks the chair towards you and sits in his on opposite sides of this smoldering bonfire. He takes a swig of his drink, puts his boots up on the edge of the fire, and says, well, let's hear it then.
Like I mentioned, more than just me, more than just what I have to offer specifically. Mind if I get everyone else over here first?
Well, preferably if they were visible. That would be nice. Only seems fair.
All right, I'll very visibly go on the earring and just say, I think we found the audience we were looking for. And then I'll look at Gambino and say, with his permission, if you could come on in and we'll have a civil chat.
May not be so civil, but we can have a chat. Bring him in. Gives you a wink and finishes the drink, throws the cup. And I think that's where we're going to stop for tonight.
Oh. I'm just going to point out that...
Woof. That's a woof. Yes, Hondo, say it.
Was not... Wait.
Preach it.
No, but if we've already ended, it doesn't make sense to say what I would do.
You can say it.
I thought you were just going to say proudly that you didn't do anything insane.
No, I was the one who did something insane.
So I will not make a move to go in yet.
No, that's fair.
And I will not even go in when Valentine and crew arrive.
No, I think that's a great plan.
When I do feel like going in, I will go in as Jack Sparrow and pretend I don't even know who these guys are.
Thanks for tuning in. Join us next time as the Wildcards finally meet Captain Gambino, the Pirate King of Casterian. There will be a new episode up every Tuesday, so stay tuned. But until then, keep exploring.